place to be since I was 19. You can find me, maroon and white tee. Stay grinding, you're not on my team to get behind me and stay behind. You will play behind. Man, I'm in a Mississippi state of mind, and this state of mind ain't a greater time. Take a break in line and just take what's mine. It's an our state, our place, and you can see that it's written on our face. This is our break, our race, and if you ain't with it, get out of our way. Now stand up in your seat, sling a cowbell to the beat. Got 3-6 on my cheek, my boy and B gonna rest in peace. We just left the being in cowbell to the wind, and this maroon and white is blending like I'm Two-Face, Harvey Dent, and my friends up in the tent, and you know they miss a sip, and we coming for your hearts. So before we start, gonna put a stint in. My state of mind is a place for these dime rhymes to mint, and if you cross the line, that's the place that they're gonna be spent in. I'm looking at the Mississippi women in the district, got me grinning. You step up in the pen, man, you probably gon' get
MSU, and we about to roll, and everywhere we go, we taking control. We MSU, and when that whistle blow, you already know that we gon' show. 'Cause we MSU, and we about to roll, and everywhere we go, we taking control. We MSU, and when that whistle blow, you already know that we gon' show. 'Cause we
up in Star Vegas, we got that bar, baby. And all ladies breaking hearts, they call it shark baiting. That identity, some crisis left you lifeless like your sparks. They need to decide who y'all move side, 'cause the state is ours, baby. Star crazy coming to pound, man, we drooling. You looking like a new kid in town, you gon' get bullied. You better draw back, bruh, we on the attack, bruh. We dogs of war, we coming forward, you can see that it's written on the dog tag.
And we ain't listening to what you think we gon' do, 'cause either way we coming for you. And it don't matter how we do, we gonna stay true.
'Cause that's true maroon and that's through and through.
'Cause from that L-I-S-S-I,
I'll stay from the stands with a plate in my hand full of cheese fries.
S-S-I,
Get the beat me, you know that we believe. Hit the street when we're ready, check me yeet on the Yeti, you can see that we're reppin' S-T-A-T-E till we D-I-E. Every place that we step in, so rap that in maroon and white. We're gonna rule the night, we're gonna do the fight song all the way down Main, and I ain't gonna make it back to maroon tonight. Or wherever my head lands, long as that golden edge still stands behind that glass, I don't have to ask, you know we adding who I am, we MSU.
And we about to roll, and everywhere we go, we taking control. We MSU, and when that whistle blow, you already know that we gon' show. 'Cause we MSU, and we about to roll, and everywhere we go, we taking control. We MSU, and when that whistle blow, you already know that we gon' show. 'Cause we MSU.
Welcome into the Bulldog Student Sports Network. It's Mississippi State and Missouri, a Game 3 rubber match here on a beautiful day on the campus of Mississippi State University at Noose Park at Starkville, Mississippi. Good afternoon. My name is Ty Goldman alongside Zach Sizemore. We are here to broadcast this ball game for you. And, Zach, things didn't go the way Mississippi State wanted them to yesterday. State falling to Missouri 12-8. State did win Game 1 by a score of 7-0. Just kind of discuss what you saw yesterday from the Bulldogs and how Missouri was able to be so effective, especially offensively yesterday.
Well, I mean, after Game 1, what I took away from that was the Tigers, they were hesitant at the plate. They weren't letting the bat get off their shoulder. They weren't swinging. Heading into Game 2, the Tigers came out of the gate swinging. Every single time up, they swung. I think probably more than 50% on the first pitch, they were swinging. So they were aggressive coming. And when you swing, the more you swing, the better odds you have of getting on base with a hit. And that's all they did. They just swung. They swung a lot better than the Bulldogs did. And then the Bulldogs defense had a couple of errors that ended up proving maybe the difference there at the end of the game as they couldn't come back, fell short. But that was pretty much the basis of how the Tigers just outplayed the Bulldogs yesterday.
Yeah, State really, and State did well offensively too. Scored 8 runs, had double-digit hit game yesterday. And you look at it, And I said this in the post game yesterday. If you would have looked at what Mississippi State did yesterday, offensively, and without seeing Missouri's offensive stats, you'd been like, okay, I'm pretty comfortable with this. I'm pretty sure State won. But it turns out Missouri had their best SEC performance this season, and it came at the right time against Mississippi State. 14 hits on 12 runs for the Missouri Tigers. They chased starter Delaney Everett yesterday, and then it ended up getting through the entire Bulldog bullpen. Went to Delaney Everett first, and then Lexi Sosa, then Raylan Chafin, and then Josie Marin. So they've seen everybody in this Bulldog bullpen. What can the State defense and the State pitching staff do today to maybe be a little bit more effective?
Come out aggressive. Game 1, they came out just firing away. They did a mixture of those fastball, off-speed pitches, and then yesterday it was a lot of fastball stuff. Now, Delaney Everett, she's known for more of that fastball type stuff, but the Tigers were all over the fastball. So today come out once again just mixing things up, throwing some fastballs off speeds, but then defensively out in the field, they need to limit the errors. They had, how many errors was it? I believe it was
State had 3 errors.
3 errors. So limit the errors. Now some of them it's like, oh well, it's bad break, but most of them they were avoided.
Yeah, most of them were avoided, but the main thing is, and a lot of those, 2 of those for sure, errors committed by State were just off of hard hit balls by Missouri. Missouri was really on the softball yesterday. They had no problem hitting yesterday at all. Even when they got out, it was hard hit balls that Mississippi State had to make a play on. Missouri hitting, I believe, 3 home runs in the ball game yesterday. So they had just an all-out fantastic day. Now let's talk about the State offense. I mentioned, they had a pretty good ball game yesterday. Had 8 runs on 12 hits. Actually, as a team hit 364. And with runners on base, they were better than they were in Game 1. A 318 average with runners on base, and with runners in scoring position, a 385 average. But the deal with that was Missouri in both of those categories was 500. So what can State's offense do, to be a little bit better today and grab the edge over Missouri's offense?
I think it's a double-edged sword there with how you're hitting with runners on, because yes, they hit pretty well. Missouri out-hit them, but the Bulldogs, it was either or. They were able to get batters on the bases, but it was a matter of could they do something with it. They left 8 total batters or runners on the base yesterday, and yes, even though you hit, 318 with runners on, leaving 8 on, that hurts, so you've got to capitalize every single time there are runners on.
You're exactly right, and a big deal was, you look at those middle innings, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th innings, you score 0 runs. Obviously, in the first inning, you didn't score a run either, but you got to be more consistent. Maybe just, adding a run, maybe just 1 run every inning would have helped you out yesterday. Obviously, that was a rare, kind of a rare sight in seeing Missouri's offense be that good this season, because that's the best they've been all year. So look forward to today's ball game. We're going to bring you the lineups here for both teams. I'll start off with Missouri. Zach will give you Mississippi State's. For Missouri, starting in left field is going to be Claire Cahalan. Julia Crenshaw not getting the start today. She got hurt in the ball game on the first at-bat, being hit by a pitch yesterday. Nevaeh Watkins in right field batting second. Madison Walker batting third at third base. Taylor Ebbs, the designated player, the cleanup hitter, batting fifth. The first baseman, Abby Hay, batting sixth. The catcher, Stefania Abrascato, batting seventh. The shortstop, Madison Updegrove, batting eighth. The second baseman, Sophie Smith. And batting ninth, going to be the center fielder, Kaylee Linger.
Yeah, your batting order for the Bulldogs. Batting first out in center field, as always, Sierra Sacco. Batting second at third base, Nadia Barbary. Batting third at shortstop, Kylie Edwards. Second baseman, Morgan Stiles, will be batting cleanup. Batting fifth behind the plate, Ella Wesolowski, so we're keeping her behind the plate like what they did yesterday. Batting sixth out in left field, Morgan Bernardini. Batting seventh, your designated player for the day, Jessie Blaine. Batting eighth, your first baseman, Riley Hull. And to close things off for the order, right fielder Kiara Sells.
That'll be it. And then your starting pitcher today for Mississippi State going to be Raylan Chafin. Win a complete game, her 13th of the year in Game 1. 5 strikeouts, no runs given up, only 2 hits. Had a fantastic game in Game 1. Came in relief yesterday in the ball game and got taken out for Josie Marin. She did all right yesterday. But now a 2.54 ERA as it stands, 17-6 win-loss record, 31 appearances on the season, 20 games started. This will be her 21st game started. in her 32nd appearance. 129 and 2/3 innings pitched, 119 hits, 57 runs, 47 of those earned, 36 walks, 147 strikeouts on the season, and hitters are .239 against the senior righty out of Marrero, Louisiana, transfer from Louisiana State. Claire Cahalan going to start things off here on a beautiful afternoon in Starkville. Here's the first pitch, swing and a miss for strike one.
Yeah, once again, just Chafin starting off strong as she did in Game 1. Yesterday, Game 2, as you said, she didn't play or pitch the greatest, but when you come in against a team that's already hot batting, it's hard to do well.
So Cahalan, a .273 average on the season in that left-handed batter's box, and this 0-1 pitch hits the zone for strike two. Cahalan, a sophomore out of Dadeville, Alabama, played in yesterday's ball game. Had a .263 average coming into the series, and that's bumped up to .273. Here's the 0-2. Got him an off-speed pitch, trying to get her to chase. Does not offer, so the count will move to 1-2.
Chafin doing a good job already of mixing things up, using the fastballs and off-speeds, just switching them, intermixing them, trying to get Cahalan to swing.
Cahalan 2 for 4 in the game yesterday. Had an RBI as well. Here's the 1-2. This one hit over the glove of Callie Edwards, sending to left center field. Sacco range over and throw it into the infield, but State's infield kind of playing in right there, and that's the reason that one got over the head of Callie Edwards, Zach.
Yeah, Edwards, it was literally just off of the top of her glove, maybe a centimeter high. Had she been back just maybe an inch or two more, she would have snagged that, but good hit. Saw it the entire way and able to sort of chop it into shallow left field.
So now Nevaeh Watkins will step into the left-handed batter's box. Corner infielders playing in for State as Watkins shows bunt. And she bunts basically through it for strike one.
Wesolowski there jumped up, reminding the runner that she's paying attention. She threw one runner out yesterday, so look for another one today.
Yes, she did, and she was really aggressive yesterday in throwing back to first base. So an 0-1 count on Watkins. We'll see if she squares again. She does. This one is popped up in the air, will hit the net, so not playable. But it'll make it a 2-strike count on the freshman out of Rowlett, Texas. It's played and started all 2 games of this series. So looking to get on base right here. She got on base in the first inning yesterday as this pitch from Chafin outside for ball one makes the count 1-2, but got on base with a single through the left side after she missed 2 bunts yesterday in the ball game, so maybe a little bit of deja vu here. Chafin, now the pitch comm on her wrist is gone out, so she's going to have to fix that. She'll get time called and wait just a moment.
You love the pitch comms, but you hate them when they're not working. It's with technology in general. When it works, you love it. When it doesn't, you hate it. And pitch comms, that's kind of the new focus or new technology in the game nowadays.
Now we're back ready to play. Here's the 1-2 from Chafin. Off speed, pulled down the line and foul over to the Missouri Tiger dugout. Missouri in all black today with yellow piping, or gold. Missouri fans would say it's gold. So gold piping and gold Mizzou across the front with white outline. State in their all whites today. White State across the front and maroon outline. Chafin delivers the 1-2 again, off speed. Yes, sir. That's strikeout number 1 for Raylan Chafin, and Watkins sent back to the dugout for out number 1.
This is looking awfully familiar to Game 1, just throwing in that off speed after a low outside pitch. Watkins was reaching for it, had to really extend to get it, and then there, Watkins expecting something fast, but gets that off speed right down the middle.
Now, stepping in will be Madison Walker, sophomore out of Olathe, Kansas. First pitch to her. Fast one in there for strike 1 on the outside corner.
Tigers are doing a bit of mixture. They're not as aggressive coming out of the gate as they were yesterday, but not as hesitant as Game 1. Be interesting to see if they stay with this or go a bit more aggressive or hesitant.
Here's the 0-1 from Chafin. Does not quite catch the inside corner. Home plate umpire today is Donald Brown. Jill Poole over there at second base. Actually, she's at first today. And Shane Jackson, his duty is second and third base. Here's the 1-1. That one's sent into right field, shallow right field. Going to be a tough play. Sells on a dive, lost the ball, but Cahalan was trying to tag, so she's going to be out on the throw into the infield. So good awareness by Sells right there, noticing Cahalan could not, was tagging on that or just staying on the base, and she throws out Cahalan at second on the force out for out number 2.
Yeah, Walker just got a tad bit too underneath it, popped it up. Would have been a miraculous catch there by Sells, but still gets the out because of Cahalan. You don't want to get thrown out because you forget to tag up there.
So here's Taylor Ebbs, 3 for 4 in the game yesterday. Had a fantastic ball game. First pitch to her, going to miss low and outside for ball 1. But Zach, 3 for 4 in the game. Had a home run, 3 RBIs.
Yeah, she was fantastic yesterday, wasn't she, for the Tigers? She kind of was one of those batters that kept the spark alive when it seemed like the spark was gone for the Tigers.
Now the 1-0 misses high for ball 2, so a 2-ball, no strikes count on the Tigers senior. Ebbs talked about her a good bit. She's from Kaiser, Oregon. Three-year player at Kentucky, now at Missouri. Now this one fouled back for strike 1, so 2-1 to count.
Yeah, this guy down here was waiting for that ball. Thought it went over the net. He was ready to dive for it, but once again, just under it. So good timing, just getting too far under it.
Ebbs with had a 267 average coming into the series. That's now bumped up to 292. So she's had a really productive series here in Starkville. Here's a 2-1 to her. Off speed. Did it catch the zone? It did not. Maybe just a tad low. And home plate umpire Donald Brown says it's a ball. So we got a 3-1 count. Good count for Ebbs here, who's been dangerous, as I mentioned, all series. This one's sent in the right center field. Back at the wall. It is long gone. And a 2-run shot from Missouri. They start things off right here in the top half of the first.
I was just about to say before the pitch, as a batter, you're expecting something high and in or outside, and that's exactly what she got. She knew it the entire time and just sent it.
Well, a 3-1 count, right? It's a really good hitter's count, and Ebbs made the most of it right there. That's her second home run of the series. Her 9th of the season. And so a good start from Missouri, getting on the board like they did in the ball game yesterday. They put a 4 spot on Mississippi State in the first. And the Bulldogs lost yesterday 12-8 to Mizzou. Stepping in is Abby Hay, and an outside corner pitch swung on and missed from the Tiger first baseman, wearing number 36 in the right-handed batter's box, a sophomore.
Just a bit low once again, so if the Tigers are missing, it's because they're going low. Chafin dealing near the top of the zone today.
This one misses just 2 outside, so evens count up at 1-1. But that is, back to that Ebbs home run. It's a danger of running to a 3-1 count and starting off the count 2-0. Ebbs is looking for anything, and she saw the pitch she wanted. Chafin delivered it perfectly to her, and she took that one out of the yard. Now this pitch, the 1-1, swung on and missed for strike 2.
This time Hay was high because Chafin went low. So Chafin doing a good job of mixing up not just the type of pitches, but the location like she did in game 1.
So we'll see if Chafin maybe goes off speed here. She goes, elevates here with a pitch, and it's fouled back to the netting, so we'll do the 1-2 again.
Hay got really lucky there, able to catch just the very bottom bit to stay alive with a 1-2 count here with 2 outs.
Hay coming into the series, only played 3 games in conference play. Had a 286 average, though, so has gotten the start for all 3 so far here in Starkville. Now the 1-2 misses outside. They appeal to first base on a check swing and say she did not go. So Deuces on the board here, a 2-2 count with 2 outs. 2-0 Missouri leads Mississippi State after a 2-run home run to right center field by Ebbs. This one fouled back to the netting again. So Hay staying alive here, trying to keep the inning alive and work with 2 outs.
Once again, barely getting enough. Low again as Chafin works the top of the zone.
So a 2-2 count to the Tiger first baseman. She waits on the off speed, but grounds it right back to Raylan Chafin. She'll turn over and throw it to Riley Hull at first base. And that'll end the top half of the first. Missouri able to get some runs across the board, 2 to be exact, with a 2-run home run from Taylor Ebbs. It's 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and nobody left on for Missouri as we move to the bottom half of the first, Zach.
Yeah, Chafin did a good job of responding after that two-run bomb there by Walker, getting another out there as she just able to dice up the batter Hay, mixing from the high of the zone, bottom, off speed, all that. That last pitch, as you said, Hay was expecting the off speed, but expecting it higher in the zone and kind of falling into the middle. But it started about middle of the zone and dropped to the bottom, so she just barely catches the bottom and it grounds straight to Chafin for an easy out number 3.
So that'll take us to the bottom half of the first. Going to stay here for this the middle of the first inning and introduce the Missouri starter for today, who started in the ball game on Friday. It's going to be Sierra Harrison, who is getting the start today for Missouri. In that ball game on Friday, she was credited with the loss, went 5 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, 4 of them, or all of them earned, one walk, 1 strikeout, faced 22 Bulldog hitters through 77 pitches. So Bulldog hitters are familiar with her and her stuff, so hopefully that will pay off for Mississippi State's offense after already seeing Missouri have a 2-run first inning. So seems like their great hitting from yesterday maybe not going away.
No, not at all. Harrison, as you said on Friday, she did pretty good. Not a terrible job, but hopefully the Bulldogs can continue the hot hitting they had late in the game yesterday. I mean, almost coming back and tying things up in the bottom of the 7th last night, just unable to finish things off when it mattered. But look for Sacco to start things off hot, batting .492 on the season heading to this game. The best hitter on this team.
Yeah, Sacco had a good game yesterday for Mississippi State. Went 2 for 5, but was the last hitter in the ball game and struck out to end the ball game and end the threat for Mississippi State to come back. But she'll lead things off here in the bottom half of the first. State trails at 2-0. First pitch from Harrison in there for a called strike 1.
She also had that grand slam back in the 2nd yesterday to tie things up at 5 and kind of stayed there for about an inning and a half before the Tigers were able to heat things back up. So expecting big things from her today.
Here's the 0-1 from Harrison. Swung on and driven foul down the right field line and into the Missouri Tiger bullpen. So a quick 2-strike count on the Bulldogs' leadoff hitter. Harrison, a junior out of Lee's Summit, Missouri, one of the few from Lee's Summit, Missouri on this team. 25 appearances last year for the Tigers in her sophomore season. A 14-3 record. The 0-2 misses up, and Sacco does not try and even offer at that one.
Nah, she saw it the entire way, knew this wasn't her pitch, and if she swung, that would have been the out of the bat. She struck out, what was it, twice yesterday, 2 or 3 times?
Twice yesterday, 1 in the first and 1 in the last inning. This one sent down the right field line and foul again on a line drive. It'll go all the way into the corner.
Seeing the ball really well, just a tad bit early there, and so it pulled over towards the Tigers bullpen. It get a little bit later in that swing, and that thing could fall into play.
Well, you see, as a pitcher, and a catcher, and I think as a pitching staff in Missouri, if you see Sacco early on these pitches right here, I think maybe you try and see if she can slow down her timing, maybe to the off-speed pitch here. They still stay up with the speed, but it's a ball that misses outside for ball 2. But Watkins, or excuse me, I don't know. I was thinking of somebody else.
Nevaeh Watkins?
Yeah, Nevaeh Watkins. Harrison, though, in her last 2 years of Missouri, 46 combined appearances, so has been a regular pitcher for the Tigers. Sacco fouls this one also down the right field line, and I think it went out of the ballpark. Went out of the ballpark, but foul over there in the corner.
Once again, she's just a tad bit early. If it swings out literally just half a second, that thing could be gone to start things off for the Bulldogs. But doing a good job of staying alive with this 2-2 count and forcing a lot of pitches early.
Here's a 2-2 to Sacco. Swung on and fouled back to the left of the screen. Bounces over by the Bulldog dugout.
This time a tad bit late. Maybe expecting a little bit of off-speed or slower fastball, but able to just tip it to once again stay alive. Just incredible fight from her. Start things off.
Abrascato gave that one a chase to corral it. She's starting behind the plate, as we mentioned in the pregame. Julia Crenshaw hurt yesterday, so not starting today for Missouri. Here's the 2-2, and it misses the inside corner, and I thought that was strike three, but Donald Brown behind the plate did not. So State fans, count your blessings.
I think everybody did. You could hear the Missouri fans go, whoa, and then the State fans just a huge sigh of relief. Now a full count.
So full count pitch here coming to Sierra Sacco. All-speed pitch. Sacco stays back as she drives this one into center field for a leadoff single. Nice job by Sacco right there.
Yes, good job of just staying alive. Started out 0-2, fought her way back to a full count, got the pitch that she wanted, and just drilled it straight into center field for an easy single.
Yeah, did a good job of staying back on the off-speed right there. And, the dangerous thing for Harrison is she kind of elevated that pitch, so it was pretty easy to see for Sierra Sacco. So Nadia Barbary going to step in for Mississippi State. Struggled a little bit yesterday, 1 for 4 in the game. Now, first pitch to her of the at-bat is going to be a called strike one.
Yeah, good job of once again painting the inside like the pitchers did yesterday. Barbary's one of the batters that kind of is closer to the plate almost, so they tend to paint that inside of the corners we talked about yesterday.
Here's the 0-1. Barbary pulls this one foul over to the State bench. So 0-2 count quickly on Barbary as well. Sacco faced an 0-2 count, but was able to fight back and single into center field. Barbary, a junior out of Douglasville, Georgia, Chapel Hill High School. Started a lot of games for Mississippi State over the past 2 seasons, and now the 3rd season here in Starkville. The 0-2 misses high and in for ball one.
You gotta be aware if you're Abrascato that Sacco is familiar with stealing. She's attempted 17 attempts, successfully stolen 14 times, caught 3 times, so an 82.4% success, but just keep an eye on her.
Now this one fouled out over the third base side, so we'll do the 1-2 again. Barbary, though, has had a lot of doubles this year, 9 doubles. Has been really good for Mississippi State with those extra base hits, but a fantastic average of 360, 417 on base percentage. Also 8 home runs to boot with those 9 doubles. 1-2 misses low for ball 2, evens the count up. So State with nobody out in the inning, Zach, trying to go to work here.
Yeah, she's not just good with those extra base hits, but she's also good at drawing walks. 14 walks drawn on the season, and she's now back to a 2-2 count, so an even count. Let's see if she can get on base with a hit or draw her 15th walk of the season.
Here's a 2-2. Flied up into the air and out of play. Will hit the Rula Tennis Pavilion behind to the left side here behind News Park. But, yeah, fantastic day here in Starkville. We got the fire truck parked out in right center field. They're supposed to have the fire versus police home run derby this afternoon, so that should be interesting. An off-speed pitch, Barbary offers and misses at that for strikeout number 1 and out number 1 of the inning.
Good job by Harrison, knowing Barbary is probably expecting something fast as she'd thrown a couple of fastballs back-to-back and then gets off speed, and Barbary just way too early there.
Yeah, that off-speed pitch was also elevated, right? And Barbary did less of a better job than Sacco did of staying back on that one. Barbary way out on her front foot and strikes out. That'll bring up Kylie Edwards. The first pitch to her catches the inside corner for strike 1.
Yeah, she did a good job of fighting back into it, but just unable to finish things off as Sacco did. But going back to what you talked about, the police versus firefighter home run derby, that's something they do every year, and the firefighters have won the past 3 seasons, so that should be an interesting one today.
Yeah, see if the police department can get one back. Callie Edwards sends one down the third base line and a single. So runners at first and second for Mississippi State. Edwards, with another hit this weekend, has had a hit in all 3 games versus Missouri.
Yeah, that was a really good hit. Saw the ball the entire way, able to sneak it right past the third baseman Walker into shallow left field. Shortstop Upgrove was able to get over there fast to hold the runners at first or second, because if it had kept rolling, you could have seen Sacco maybe get sent home, but probably held up at third.
Yeah, well, Sacco definitely aggressive on the bases. His 14 stolen bases this season. I know that doesn't apply to advancing right there, but she's very speedy. It's a reason she plays center field and has scored 52 runs for Mississippi State, which is, absolutely an insane amount of runs scored. And that'll bring up Morgan Stiles for the Bulldogs.
Well, heading into the series, the Bulldogs were 55-8 when she scored a run in the game. And after this weekend, I think that's now 56-9, possibly, because she scored on Friday, scored yesterday.
Yeah,
but
it would be 56-9.
The Bulldogs are pretty good at winning games when she scores.
Yeah, coming into the series, Sacco 50 runs scored, now at 52, but that was good enough for 6th in the nation and 2nd in the Southeastern Conference. First pitch was a ball to Stiles, and now this one also a ball too far on the inside. So a good count to start for Morgan Stiles, freshman with a 3.06 average, and had a good game yesterday, 2 for 4 in the ball game. Here's a 2-0 to Stiles. Misses outside, 3-0 the count. Might see a take here from the Bulldogs' second baseman.
Almost guarantee you it's going to be a take here. That's just what the Bulldogs do with 3-0 counts, and see if Harrison has picked up on that, or she'll just try and get her to swing.
Stiles, a freshman out of Athens, Alabama, Athens High School. She awaits the 3-0 count, misses too far inside. Bases are loaded. For somebody you would like to have at the plate, based off the way she's played this series, a 4 for 4 day yesterday, a career high in hits in a ball game. And this bases loaded situation going to draw a mound or a circle visit for the Missouri Tigers.
Yeah, this looks awfully familiar to yesterday. Tigers took an early lead. Bulldogs come back, and they hit a grand slam to tie things up. But here, they're only down by 2, and they have a chance to take a 2-run lead if Wesolowski can get a grand slam, or if she can at least get a hit, at least send 2 runners home to tie it up. And may I mention, there's only 1 out. Sorry, Ty.
Yeah, exactly. No, you're fine. A 2-0 Missouri lead with 1 out, and the bases are loaded. Mizzou with a circle meeting right now, and the offensive players for State also meeting to the left of the right-handed batter's box. But mentioned Wesolowski and her success this series had been struggling, was only 1 for 12 in SEC play coming into the series, but a 4 for 5 series so far against Missouri. Went 0 for 1 on Friday, but 4 for 4 in the game yesterday, which was a career high for Wesolowski.
And that's why you see her once again behind the plate today, and Jesse Blaine is the designated player, because they like both of them behind the plate, but they like both of them batting today after yesterday's performance. Let's see if she can do some damage here with bases loaded and 1 out, as we mentioned earlier.
Now the first pitch to Wesolowski catches the outside corner for strike 1. She's starting to, look a lot like she did last year, had a .318 batting average, which was second among all SEC freshmen last year, with that being freshmen with at least 100 at-bats. Here's the 0-1 to Wesolowski. In there, strike 2. Taking that one, and that one looked like a really good pitch to maybe offer at.
Yeah, over 100 at-bats last season, only 38 this year, because we talked about this yesterday. She got injured in the Texas Tech game, missed 15 games, have come back, and Coach Ricketts has done a really good job of sliding her back into the lineup.
Wesolowski fights off the 0-2. That hits something up there as we got some oohs and ahs. Can't quite see what that hit.
I think a Missouri fan tried to grab it, but then it just nailed the fence or something, because you can see it's one of those guys, he's up there laughing like acting like,
I did. I see one of those guys in a Missouri jersey up there.
Yeah, I don't know, but she was a bit reach for that one there. Could have been a ball had she stayed at home, but she didn't.
This one sent down the line and fair from Wesolowski. Sacco will score. Edwards will score. Bratton will hold up Morgan Stiles at second, and Wesolowski has a 2 RBI double, continuing that success, and good for her. After getting injured to start the season, it's finally starting to come into her own and delivers a 2 RBI double, to tie the ball game up.
Once again, it narrowly squeaks past the third baseman, but this time it barely stayed fair as well. It literally hit probably an inch or so from the line and able to get 2 runners home. Had it not rolled as far as it did, probably could have gotten a triple, but even then tied things up here as Morgan Bernardini's up to bat.
Bernardini, a 342 average on the season. She takes the first pitch just a tad low for ball 1. Now looking like the infield kind of playing in for Missouri, and they are. It's maybe trying to cut down Morgan Stiles on a ground ball in the infield. But this could also play to Mississippi State's favor as it did for Missouri. They had a leadoff single off of State playing in on the infield in the first. Here is a ground ball, and now we're going to have a rundown. Morgan Stiles caught in a rundown between third and home, and she will be tagged out. Bernardini did make it to second base. Wesolowski advanced over to third. So the defensive strategy pays off for Missouri, and I'm sure maybe they'll back out now with 2 outs in the inning.
Yeah, that was, you've seen like sack fly, sack bunt. That was almost like a sack trying to head for home there for, who was that? Stiles. She didn't have to go at all. It would have been an easy out at first, but she kind of came trying to throw him off, make him force an error, but that was a sacrifice for me.
So Jesse Blaine going to step in for State. And takes the first pitch in the outside corner for a called strike 1, but a chance to give State the lead. Bernardini at second base, Wesolowski at third. So 2 runners in scoring position for State, already with a hit in the game with runners in scoring position as they scored with the bases loaded off of Wesolowski, double down the line. Here's the 0-1. Misses way outside for ball 1 and evens the count up.
Yeah, let's see what the damage Blaine can do today. She had a pretty decent day yesterday, going 0 for 2, so only 2 at-bats. But
she did walk
game
twice.
Yes.
Did walk twice. Walked twice in the game yesterday. And has not reached base on a hit this series as she takes a strike right there for 1-2, but hadn't reached base on a hit this series, but has walked 3 times. So has been on base at OBP, has kind of stayed a little consistent.
Well, with those 3 walks yesterday, she's been walked 27 times on the season, so really good. Another State player that's really good at drawing walks.
She takes this one off just off the outside corner for ball 2. So again, I say Deuces on the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs, and the score is 2-2.
Is that your favorite saying, Ty? Deuces on the board?
Well, we always said that when when I played high school baseball, so it just has stuck with me.
Gotcha.
2-2 is going to be fouled down the first baseline, so Blaine will stay alive. A senior out of Pike Road, Alabama. Blaine has played 2 years for Mississippi State, and the previous 2 years played at Auburn. Went to high school at St. Dominic High School. Has been good for State both defensively and offensively. Now the 2-2 and hits her. Harrison makes a mistake there and loads the bases for Riley Hull.
Yeah, that pitch just got a bit of away from her. A bit of an early release, just nails Blaine right in the foot. And let's see if Riley Hull can do something. She hasn't been the greatest hitter of the season, but a great defensive player for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, 194 average this season. Just hadn't had things go her way, but a big chance maybe to turn the tides here for her offensive production in this 2025 Bulldog softball season. The Hull, also a senior out of Somerset, Kentucky, Pulaski County High School. Pitch to her, sent into left field. Ranging over is Cahalan, and she will make the grab for out number 3. So Missouri escapes some damage. State leaves them loaded. 2 runs, 3 hits on no errors. And as I mentioned, State leaves them loaded, so 3 left on base for the Bulldogs. We will move to the top half of the second inning. State able to tie the ball game up, matching Missouri's 2 spot in the first with a 2 spot of their own. We're going to take a really quick break here and be back in just a moment. You're listening to Mississippi State Softball on the Bulldog Student Sports Network.
Let's groove tonight. Share the spice of life. Famous lights tonight. We gonna groove tonight. Let us groove. Get you to move. It's alright, alright. Let us groove. Set in the shoes, so stand up. Alright. Gonna tell you what you can do with my love. Alright. Let you know, girl, you're looking good. You're out of sight. Alright. Just move yourself and you glide like a 747 and you lose yourself in the sky among the clouds in your heaven thoughts.
Back here on the Bulldog Student Sports Network, Mississippi State 2, Missouri 2, as we move to the top half of the second inning. Raylan Chafin still in the circle for the Lady Dogs. It's going to be 6, 7, 8 due up for Missouri. Stefani Abrascato, Madison Updegrove, and Sophie Smith for Missouri.
Yeah, the Bulldogs did a good job the bottom of the first, picking up where they left off yesterday, swinging the bats, getting on base, just unable to capitalize as they strand 3 runners on, bases loaded. Riley Hull not able to do anything, got a bit under it, popped it up. Had it been not as high up, probably would have landed foul.
First pitch to Abrascato, misses low, an off-speed pitch for ball 1. Abrascato, sophomore of Smithtown, New York, mentioned yesterday, was a New York Gatorade Player of the Year her senior year. And this pitch going to hit her. So a leadoff hit by pitch to start the inning off. Abrascato reaching first base.
Yeah, just a tad bit too outside. Abrascato, a left-handed hitter, just nailed it right in the elbow. Luckily, she had that elbow guard on. But that's, once again, another time that we've seen a Bulldog pitcher hit the batter. It's something we've seen a lot this season. The pitchers have been good, but fortunately, some of the pitches tend to get away, and they hit batters quite a bit.
So Madison Updegrove going to step in here with a leadoff runner on for Mizzou. She takes a big hack at the first pitch and misses for strike 1.
All over that fastball, just missed it. Good job of Chafin of locating the ball just a tad bit higher in the zone.
Updegrove has started every game in SEC play this season. She shows bunt, tried to pull it back, but ended up hitting the top half of the bat for strike 2 as she fouled it back.
She could tell that she messed up there. She tried to pull back, and as soon as they hit it, she sighed, was like, crap. Not what I was meant to do.
So an 0-2 count on a mistake from Madison Updegrove that average sitting at 211 right now, but a good on-base percentage at 339. Here's the 0-2 way high. Wesolowski lunges and able to make the grab, so saving maybe a chance for Abrascato to advance to second base.
That's why you have her behind the plate, and that's why you also have Jesse Blaine. 2 phenomenal catchers for the Bulldogs, able to, as you said, just leapt up, grabbed it, and forced Abrascato to stay at first.
So a 1-2 count. Abrascato at first base off of a leadoff hit by pitch. Here's the 1-2 from Chafin. Does not catch the outside corner. They'll throw back to first, and out is Abrascato. Great job by Ella Wesolowski, and a good job by Hull to get the tag down right there. That's out number 1 of the inning. Base paths are clear.
She threw out another runner today, and as you said earlier, not shy of throwing it back towards first, so good job of just firing it over there as fast as she could.
Well, you mentioned her pop time yesterday on that throw down to second base. I mean, that was quick right there, and she zipped that ball over to first base. So 2-2 count should be on Madison Updegrove. Yeah, 2-2 count on Updegrove. as the pitch to her missed just outside on the 1-2 count. So 2-2 here with 1 out in the inning. Off-speed pitch pops straight up into the air. Wesolowski calling for it. Now Hull calling for it. Hull catches it off the tip of Wesolowski's glove. It just caromed into the air, and Wesolowski caught it, or excuse me, Hull caught it with her bare hand for out number 2. But I tell you what, a little bit of a lack of communication there. Both calling for it, but none of them seem to want to step out of the way for one another.
I think that should have been Wesolowski's right there. She was waving her arm like a fair catch in football, just like, hey, that's mine. But Hull, like an eagle, was tracking it down. Luckily, she was there. They kind of bumped into each other, as you said, ended up in the air, and she just grabbed that barehanded out of air for out number 2.
So 2 outs in the inning, and stepping in is going to be Sophie Smith. First pitch she sees is a called strike 1. But Smith, a freshman, one of the 3 freshmen in this order from Missouri. Watkins in the 2 spot, a freshman, and Updegrove, who just batted, also a freshman. Now a fastball in the outside corner for strike 2. So 0-2 count here. Don't need to make a mistake right here if you're Chafin. Get out of this inning and let your team hit.
Harrison's painting the inside. Chafin's painting the outside.
This one sent into the air, and it's going to be a foul ball out of play to the left side over towards the new facility for MSU softball.
I haven't been inside that facility, but I've heard it's really nice.
Yeah, I've heard it's really nice. I watched a YouTube video on it. They did a YouTube feature on that. I can't remember the channel name, but I watched a YouTube video on it. It's a really nice facility.
You can find anything on YouTube nowadays, including the Bulldog Student Sports Network.
That's right. Good plug right there. Off-speed pitch from Chafin misses for ball 1. Fans don't like it, but that's how it stands. So 1-2 count with 2 outs in the inning. Tie ball game, 2-2, Mississippi State and Missouri here in a rubber match in Starkville. Here's a 2-2 pitch to Sophie Smith. Misses outside, maybe trying to get her to chase there. There was really no doubt about that one. So the count evens now. Deuces on the board, 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs.
And
Top
the
half
score
of the
is
second.
2-2.
Top half of the second, scores 2-2.
So it truly is deuces on the board.
Right. That's right.
Except State has 3 hits.
Yeah, well, I'd rather them have 3 hits.
Yes, agreed.
Now this one's sent into right center field. Doesn't have enough juice to get out. Sacco ranging back, and she'll make the play for out number 3. So a leadoff hit by pitch, but Abrascato gunned down at first base on a throwback from Ella Wesolowski, and then an Updegrove foul out and a Smith fly out. We're moving to the bottom half of the second. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base for Missouri. 2-2 Mississippi State and Mizzou.
Let's see what the Lady Bulldogs can do here heading to bat. Let's see if the hot bats stay hot. You've got your 9-hole hitter, Kiara Sells, up. Unfortunately, Riley Hull not able to do anything. She's not the greatest hitter, as we mentioned earlier. Sells is a pretty good hitter herself, batting .312 on the season. I really like her in that 9 spot. She's really good way to end the order, tends to get on base a lot, and then gives your best hitter a runner on when she's up to bat again.
Yeah, we mentioned that. We've mentioned that over the course of the series. A good segue in the top of the order is Kiara Sells. But you mentioned that .312 batting average. Went 1 for 2 in the game yesterday. In the game on Friday, and had a home run in that ball game. Excuse me, but went 1 for 2 in that one on Friday. Unable to get a hit yesterday. Did reach base on a hit by pitch, which she's reached base a lot this season on hit by pitches. Actually, she is 3rd in the country and 1st in the SEC in hit by pitches. So she's now at 16 on the season, I believe. So I think that's probably still good for 1st in the SEC and could maybe be good for 1st in the nation. But she's been good, at least getting on base. Is that I always like to talk about on-base percentage, and on-base percentage is important, but her is important. Hers sits at .458.
Yeah, it's hard to, when you get into Game 3, these stats that we prepare before Game 1, they change throughout the weekend, not just because of the stats here, but all across the nation. It's hard to really know, but I agree with you. I think it might be good enough to be 1st in the nation now. She's probably one of the Bulldogs that's been hit the most.
Yeah, she has been
Yeah.
hit. She's been hit the most by of any Bulldog on this team, and but on base percentage is so important. It's like the money or the movie Moneyball. Billy Bean.
Yes.
I just want him to get on base. That's true because it's so important. Batting average is one thing, but if you just can get on base, that's a big thing for your team.
It adds a little something to the back of the pitcher's mind, catcher's mind, and it just nags them. It's like, oh, I got a runner at first. Oh, I got a runner at second. They got to be aware of an extra thing.
Well, the first pitch to Sells misses for a ball, so a 1-0 count on the Bulldog 9-hole hitter. Now this one catches the outside corner for strike one and evens the count up. But Sacco's sitting on deck. 9-1-2 due up for State. Sells right now. Sacco on deck and Barbary in the hole. Sacco 1 for 1 in today's contest.
Why do they call it the hole? I mean, they're not sitting in the hole. I guess the dugout is like a hole.
Now the 1-1 misses for 2-1. I really don't know. Maybe because of dugout deal.
Maybe.
But I know a lot about baseball and softball, but I actually do not know the answer to that. I do not know.
Yeah, that's a question that's been bugging me for years.
Now Sells sends this one in the right center field. Back. It is gone. A home run. Kiara Sells and Mississippi State.
She saw that the entire way, a bit of an off speed. She just nailed it, and that is why she's your 9-hole hitter, because she either gets on base or hits one out of here and gives the Bulldogs a 3-2 lead.
3-2 lead Mississippi State. A solo shot to start off this inning.
And now having your best batter up after that, it's Nagan Harrison. When you give up a home run, it's like, oh, crap. And then the best hitter's up, you're just like, oh, double crap. Like, what am I supposed to do? I've got to pitch strikes, but I want to keep pitches away from the best hitter.
Now we'll have a meeting in the circle for Missouri. Looking towards that bullpen. Don't see any, maybe a little bit of action moving. I don't see anybody coming out the bullpen door. I think they're just going to have a conversation here. Now, only Harrison gave up 5 hits in the game that she started on Friday, but State already up now to 4 hits, and she gave up 4 runs in the game on Friday. State already up to 3 runs. So, they're kind of all over Harrison. It'll be interesting to see if Missouri maybe elects at some point in this game to go back to Marissa McCann, who pitched pretty well through a couple of innings yesterday, struggled in the second inning with a 5 spot for Mississippi State. But, outside of that, the first, the third, the fourth, the fifth innings, she pitched really well yesterday. So it'll be interesting to see if Marissa McCann is somebody that Mizzou turns to.
Yeah, and it looks like there actually is some movement in there. A pitcher getting warm, so very well could see a new pitcher here depending on how Sacco does, Barbary Edwards do as 1, 2, 3 back up in the lineup.
Sacco going to step in 1 for 1 today, as I mentioned. Had a leadoff single in the first inning after she fought back from an 0-2 count. Wind blowing hard out to center field. She lays down a bunt down the third baseline. Tough play, and it's going to be thrown away. That's going to be counted as a single. Sacco going to round first, head to second base, and she is safe. So she's going to reach on a bunt single and then reaches second base on a throwing error by Madison Walker, who's had already now 3 errors in the series this here in Starkville.
Yeah, that was her third. But how great is it to have a player with her speed where you can lay one down and force the defense to throw the ball faster, and then it gets away from Hay, and Sacco does a good job of just heading straight over to second.
Yeah, kind of makes her panic, right? Makes her panic, and I do think we are going to get a pitching change. Is head coach going to come out for Missouri and make a change with the lineup card, and we are going to get a pitching change, and it is in fact going to be Marissa McCann for the Missouri Tigers.
Yeah, she had a great day yesterday. Could have pitched the entire game, but they didn't. I think they knew they felt the lead was safe enough, so they took her out and then save her for a instance like this today.
So she went 5 2/3 innings, got the win yesterday, and moved to 8-9 on the season, but gave up 8 hits, 6 runs, all of those earned. 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, faced 28 Bulldog hitters, and threw 104 pitches. Now you look at the 6 earned runs, and you might ask, what in the world are you two talking about saying that she had a good day? Well, that second inning was tough for her, where State scored 5, and then State scored one in the 6th inning in which she got taken out for J.C. Cruz, and then they brought in Pinnell yesterday. But the first inning, the 3rd inning, the 4th inning, and the 5th inning were really good to Marissa McCann yesterday. She was pretty dominant yesterday, and Bulldog hitters kind of had a tough time, at least converting with runners in scoring position, but had a tough time hitting after just anyways.
Yeah, and as you said, giving up 5 runs in the inning, that does a lot mentally, but she responded well, as you said, in those middle 3 innings, just doing a good job of forcing the Bulldogs to be uncomfortable in the bat and unsure of their swings, and when they do get on base, doing a good job of making sure they stay there. They don't advance any further.
McCann, we talked about this yesterday, a sophomore out of Surprise, Arizona, originally grew up in Columbia, Missouri, which is the home of the University of Missouri. Moved over to Surprise, Arizona at 13. Nadia Barbary going to step in, and she takes this one outside for ball 1. But last year, as a freshman with Missouri, 32 appearances, was a SEC Freshman of the Week 2 times last year, a 1.87 ERA with an 8-4 record. 82 1/3 innings pitched last year. And the first 2 pitches from her are balls that are outside. So a 2-0 count on the Bulldog third baseman in Nadia Barbary.
Yeah, a little game of cat and mouse going on between Sacco and Abrascato, who's behind the plate. Sacco taking her time getting back to second, seeing if Abrascato is going to throw it, maybe throw one away again, another error, so she can advance to third.
Here's a 2-0 to Barbary, and it's an off-speed pitch, which Barbary is out in front on and fouls it over the Missouri bench.
She's struggling. That's all I can say. Bit late on that one, able to get just the bottom of that. Even though it was off-speed, she was somehow late.
Yeah, I meant a little late, not out in front. But she was kind of lunging towards it a little bit, so a little off balance with those off-speed pitches. Here's the 2-1. She fouls this one back to the A.J. Pitts tennis center.
That was a good time, just 2 underneath it once again. So she's seen the ball well, just not the timing. It's either she's seen the ball really well and the timing's great, or it's just, it's not adding up. 2 + 2 is not equaling 4 for her.
It's equaling 5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that whole math ordeal, it's somehow 2 + 2 = 5. I couldn't explain
it. Doesn't equal 5. It equals 4. Here's a 2-2. It's fouled out of play. Going to get into the stands here, the chairbacks. Somebody made a grab. Tell us about it, Zach. You got a better angle than I do.
All I saw was some dude racing up the stairs. He pauses and then cheering.
Well, you completely God. I left the audience a cliffhanger, and you just sold the bag right there.
I can't explain what I can't see, Ty.
Somebody probably made a catch, though. I will say that.
I will. I'm not Superman. I don't have X-ray, unfortunately.
Now Barbary pops this one up high in the air. Hay, fighting the sun, makes a play for out number 1 in the inning. So Kylie Edwards going to step in for State. Barbary now 0 for 2 in the contest.
Now I could see that one. If you asked me to explain that, I could see. I could explain.
I'm sure Abby Hay had a tough time seeing that one for a little bit. She looked a little hesitant when trying to catch that one. It's tough, battling that sun out there. And I mentioned they're wearing all black. That's got to be hot, wearing all black right now.
Well, no clouds in sight either, so it's not just like the sun's peeking through the clouds. Just like yesterday, no clouds in sight. And when you're not wearing sunglasses and in black, it stinks, that's for sure.
The first pitch to Edwards catches the outside corner for strike 1. So McCann has come in after a leadoff home run from Kiara Sells and then a bunt single in which Sacco advanced to second base on an error, and McCann has come in and retired Barbary, now looking to retire Kylie Edwards. The 0-1 to Edwards on the outside corner.
Yeah, Edwards, she had that single in the first, that sneak past the third baseman, and then later, I believe, scored off of that double from Stiles?
Yes, she did. No, Wesolowski,
that's right, because she advances to second and then scored on that double.
Now the 1-1 missed off the outside corner, so 2-1 to count now. I don't know what song they had playing right there. It was like an old-timey song right there.
Did you like that?
I don't know. I don't know if I liked it or not. All-speed pitch sent into shallow left field, ranging in as Cahalan ranging back is Updegrove, and Cahalan going to make the grab. Man, Updegrove covered a lot of ground running backwards, ended up within about 3 feet of our left fielder, Claire Cahalan.
Good communication by the Tigers. Upgrove waving off or moving off as Cahalan said, "Hey, this is mine." Able to get that out.
Morgan Stiles going to step in. She walked in her first plate appearance, got all the way to third, and then was cut down on a fielder's choice trying to advance to home in the first inning. And the first pitch to her misses on the outside corner. State trying to get or score with a runner in scoring position here. Now only 1 for 5 on the afternoon. 1-0 misses outside, so a 2-0 count. Really favorable count here. Want to try and extend that lead, put a little less pressure on the Bulldog defense and Raylan Chafin.
Yeah, McCann doing a good job after that double or single and then reach on second on that throwing error of coming in and taking control back for the Tigers.
She takes control of the zone right there and throws a strike just off the middle of the plate towards the inside corner for strike 1. So 2-1 the count, 2 outs in the inning, a runner at second base, and State leads the game 3-2. Pitch misses the outside corner, so ball 3. So hitters count here 3-1. What's your mindset if you're Morgan Stiles in the batter's box, Zach?
I'm going to be patient. I know yesterday I was saying swing away, but with the way McCann has kind of pitched during this at-bat, I'm just going to keep the bat on the shoulder.
And she does exactly that. McCann misses low, and Stiles will trot on down to first base, and will bring up Ella Wesolowski, who doubled down the line in her first plate appearance and scored 2 to tie the game up in the first inning before State would have a home run hit by Kiara Sells to take the lead here in the bottom half of the second.
Interesting to see what Wesolowski's mindset is here, if she's going to be aggressive to begin with or sort of Stiles just keep the bat on the shoulder. I'd expect her to be aggressive, but you never know.
So Wesolowski will step in now. 5 for 6 on the series. First pitch to her misses low for ball 1. But 5 for 6 on the series. As I mentioned, coming in, she was 1 for 12 in SEC play, so definitely has gotten better. Now 6 for 18 in SEC play with, maybe a couple at bats to boot here in game 3. This pitch misses high, goes off the glove of Abriscato, and both runners will advance. Sacco to third and Stiles to second. So now 2 runners in scoring position for Mississippi State and Ella Wesolowski.
Yeah, McCann, that pitch was just a tad bit late, bit high as well, and Abriscato unable to just get all the glove on it, as you said, off the top of the glove. Just unfortunate for the Tigers, as you now have runners in scoring position.
Pitch does not catch the inside corner, so it's going to be a ball. And 3-0 is the count on the Bulldogs catcher. So might see a take here, maybe load the bases for Morgan Bernardini.
I think
Here's
she
the
swings.
3-0 she does take. She does take, and it's a called strike.
That was a good pitch.
Yeah, good pitch right there, challenging the inside corner. Not a bad pitch there. Definitely was sort of close, but called a strike by home plate umpire Donald Brown. Here's the 3-1 count to Wesolowski with runners at second and third. She sends it down the line and just foul to the right of the bag at first base.
Looked very similar to her first hit, just down the right field line instead of the left.
Yeah, that one would have probably got into the corner. Now, Watkins has good speed out there in right field, but still would have easily scored 2 for Mississippi State. And Wesolowski might have been standing on second base. So a full count here, 3-2, 2 outs. State with a 3-2 lead, and she fights off this pitch for foul ball. Nice catch made in there in the Missouri dugout and one of their staff members.
Yeah, reaching for that one. Wasn't sure if it was going to catch the edge of the zone or not, but she thought it did, kind of reach for it and staying alive with a 3-2 count.
Yeah, just got to protect the zone here in a 3-2 count, especially in this situation, a chance to, take more of a lead already with a 1-run lead, trying to get it to a 3-run ball game. Here's the 3-2, sent foul and out of play down the left side.
Well, you also don't want to strand more runners on. You've already left 3 on. You've got 2 more on. You had 8 yesterday. As we mentioned in the pregame, if you want to win this game, you've got to capitalize when runners are on.
Exactly. That's a good point there. Definitely need to capitalize with ducks on the pond. 2 of them on the pond at second and third, and here's the full count pitch. Wesolowski sends it down the line. Watkins giving chase, not going to be able to make the play as it skips on the warning track and in and against the wall there, the Missouri dugout.
Best sort of area that ball was, because had it been fair, probably would have been caught for an out, so it gives Wesolowski another chance to stay alive and get another chance at hitting one into play.
So if Wesolowski can reach here in any sort of fashion, Morgan Bernardini is on deck and Jesse Blaine is in the hole. So we'll do the full count pitch again from McCann to Wesolowski. Fought off and sent into the Missouri bullpen, just outside of the Missouri bullpen and out of the ballpark.
The confidence is there. She is confident and is, as you said, defending the zone here with a full count, 2 outs. But her confidence is back.
Yeah, I mean, well, coming into the series, that average was below 200, in the 100s, high 100s. It's now come up to 256. Off-speed pitch driven into left field, down the line, and just foul. I mean, by about an inch, maybe 2. How close was that, Zach?
It was a bit more than that. So, the panels out in the outfield is probably about half of one of those. So just barely. It was still really close, but had it been just a few inches to the right and stayed fair, would have been an easy stand-up double, score 2 runs.
A foul by about 2 feet.
Yeah, about, say 2 feet to be safe.
So we'll do the 3-2 count again. Here it is. Sent right up back to McCann. She backhands it with her chest turns towards second base and makes the play over to first base for out number 3. So Missouri able to escape the 2-out jam, and State leaves 2 stranded, now 5 stranded in the ball game. No runs, no hits, 1 run on a home run from Kiara Sells, and State leaves 2 stranded, 1 error in the inning, and 2 hits in the inning for Missouri. 2 hits in the inning for State, 1 error for Missouri. But we're going to take a short break here and be back for the top half of the third. It's Mississippi State 3 and Missouri 2. You're listening to Mississippi State Softball on the Bulldogs Student Sports Network.
Let's groove, light up the fuse, it's alright, alright, alright. Let's groove, sit in the shoes, so stand up, alright, alright.
Let me tell you what you can do with my love. Alright, gotta let you know, girl, you're looking good, you're outside. Alright, just tell the DJ to play your favorite tune, then you know it's okay. What you found is happening now.
Let's groove, light up the fuse, it's alright, alright, alright. Let's groove, sit in the shoes, so stand up, alright, alright. Let's groove, get you to move, it's alright, alright, alright. Let's groove, sit in the shoes, so stand up, alright.
Back here on the Bulldogs Student Sports Network, Mississippi State leading Missouri 3-2 as we move to the top half of the third inning. Other action today on the diamond, Mississippi State playing Game 3, a rubber match also in Tuscaloosa. And State with a 2-1 lead over number 12, Alabama, in the top half of the fourth inning. But 3-2 here as we have 9-1-2 due up for Missouri, Linger, Cahalan, and Watkins. First pitch from Chafin in there for a called strike 1.
Lenger had a good day for the Tigers yesterday. She had that shot yesterday, and see what she can do today. First at bat, she's batting, 212 on the season. Not terrible, but see what damage she could do, if any, today.
0-1 misses outside for ball one, so evens the count up. So a 1-1 count. Chafin has done pretty well. Gave up that 2-run shot in the first, but since then has kind of bared down and battled against this Missouri offense, who had a fantastic day yesterday. Now the 1-1 misses for ball two, so 2-1 the count.
Yeah, they did a really good job of fighting back, especially after yesterday. I know we talked about this and it's a lot yesterday and a bit today. It's really hard to come in when the teams are swinging well and do stuff, but good job of battling back and keeping that confidence that she regained in game one.
This one's sent down the line in left and foul from Linger. So the count now 2-2. Linger went 1 for 2 yesterday. Had a solo home run in the ball game, one of the 3 that Mizzou hit.
Also walked yesterday, took one across the knee.
Here's a 2-2 to her, and it misses outside for ball 3. So full count on the first batter of the inning for Missouri.
Expecting, at least for me, I'm expecting something off speed here. That's what's been getting the Tigers game one and today. So let's see if she sticks with the fast or goes to the off speed.
Here's a full count pitch. There's a fast pitch that's popped up. Nadia Barbary calling for it, and she'll call off Kylie Edwards and will retire Linger for out number 1.
Yeah, Linger just a bit underneath it. Expecting the fastball just a bit underneath it, but still able to get out number 1 as
Claire Cahalan going
Yes,
to step
that's right.
in for Missouri. Had to come in yesterday for Julia Crenshaw, now in the leadoff spot. 1 for 1 today, went 2 for 4 yesterday, so 3 for 5 filling in for Missouri's best offensive player. She takes the first pitch she sees in this AB for a ball.
Yeah, Crenshaw saw her earlier. She actually has a brace on her right wrist, so took that pitch to the wrist. Hope she's all right. And she's probably the best player for the Tigers, at least offensively.
Off speed, and there's a sword right there from Cahalan. She goes halfway on that one and went around for strike 1. So 1-1 is the count. Top half of the third, Mississippi State 3, Missouri 2. Here's a 1-1 pitch. It's fouled back for strike 2.
Underneath it again, able to get just enough to stay alive. But she's done a good job, as you say, coming in, filling in for Crenshaw, the best hitter. 1 for 1 today with that single on the first. That's as far as she went, but pretty good job.
Yeah, sophomore, played in 53 games last year for Missouri, but mainly as a pinch runner. Did start the final 12 last year for the Tigers. She strikes out here in her second at bat, and that's 2 up and 2 down. A good start so far to this top half of the third for Raylan Chafin.
This time Chafin sped her up, and Cahalan was a bit slow with that one. Kind of chopped at it. It looked like, what's that movie where it's like, don't chop at it. It's not a sword. You know what movie I'm talking about?
I could be blanking right now, but no, I do not.
I'll figure it out. It'll come to me.
Now, Watkins tries to lay down a bunt, and she fouls it back to the screen. But that's a common, like baseball coach saying. It's a common terminology.
It's the bench warmers.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I love that movie.
It's
That's
such a
great
good movie.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, don't chop at it. It's not a sword. That's what it looked like to me.
0-1, and this one fouled back and out of the ballpark. So 0-2 count on Watkins in the 2-hole. Yeah, that's common baseball terminology, softball terminology. So I always hear that from coaches, especially in Little League. So
I enjoy watching the Little League. It's funny.
Little League World Series. On
Yeah.
there? Yeah. Oh, it's just funny watching them play. As this one misses for a ball in the dirt.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, because some of these kids are able to throw really hard, hit really far, but a lot of them are still trying to figure things out. But a couple years ago, a team close to my hometown, Nolensville, Tennessee, they won it all, and that was exciting being from Tennessee. But it's just fun to watch.
Yeah, that's pretty cool right there. There's a 1-2 pitch. Watkins skies it high in the left field, ranging in just a bit is going to be Morgan Bernardini, and she makes the catch for out number 3. So a 1-2-3 inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base for Missouri. It's a pop-out, strikeout, and a fly-out that retires the side. Good inning from Raylan Chafin, Zach.
Oh, great inning. Once again, responding well after that 2-run top of the first, just showing again that she's dominant and continuing what she did in Game 1 for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, really pitching well, and definitely a resemblant of Game 1. But you got Marissa McCann out here. How can State attack her? She's was able to fight through the trouble that Missouri had in the last frame. How can State maybe do better against Missouri's right-hander?
The success they had against her when she came in was being patient. Looking at Morgan Stiles, Stiles had that full count, or that hitter's count, sorry, that 3-1, and just kept the bat on her shoulder, ended up getting on base. So just being patient, not forcing the swings at all. As Wesolowski did, she kind of swung at it, forcing the swing there. So just staying patient throughout the at-bat, not forcing anything, and getting on base. And as I said before, when you have runners on base, it nags the pitcher.
Yeah, but State got to do a better job with runners on. Only 2 for 8 in the ball game, and with runners in scoring position, State 1 for 6. And the Bulldogs have left 5 stranded today, so got to do a better job with runners on base. There's the same story, on Friday, in which State won the ball game. But, yesterday State did a better job with runners on base, but just a great offensive performance from Missouri kept State out of the win column.
Yeah, I mean, you can't do much when the team is hitting that well. They, as you mentioned in the pregame, State swung well, but capitalizing. They already have nearly as many left on base as they did in the entire game yesterday. 5 through 2 already, 8 through 7 yesterday. So capitalize. That's what you have to do.
So Morgan Bernardini will step in for State. First pitch to her is on the outside corner for a called strike 1. But 6, 7, 8 due up in this inning. Bernardini, Blaine, and Hull. All of those players hitless. Blaine did reach base on a walk. This one fouled back by Bernardini. Kind of out in front of that one. So an early 0-2 count on the leadoff hitter for State.
Yeah, both of these pitches have been on the outside edge and forcing Bernardini to swing. I think she should have kept the bat on her shoulder there, but being aggressive, like to see her be a bit more patient through the rest of this at-bat.
She's patient there as this one's taken for a ball way out of the zone. Bernardini, a junior out of Elkville, Illinois, Alvarado High School. Interesting stat about her high school. Only had 21 students in her graduation class. That is a small high school. As this one misses high and out, evens the count up. Bernardini has battled back at a 2-2 count.
I had 96. I didn't think you could get smaller than 96.
Yeah, I think we had 100, around 150 in ours.
Jeez, 21?
Yeah, 21.
That's insane.
Small town school.
He knew everybody.
2-2 pitch is sent into left center field. Back. It is gone. Cahalan gave chase to it and climbed the wall, but she was unable. You can't do nothing with that. That one was smoked in the left center field. It's another solo shot for Mississippi State.
That was,
and they have the lead 4-2 now.
That was smoked, as you said, and that's what happens when you're patient. Bit aggressive at the beginning, swinging at pitches she probably shouldn't have, but then just was patient, got a pitch outside, forced it to come back inside, saw it the entire way, and great job by her after reaching on a fielder's choice, but nailing that one, and then lead increases to 2, as you said.
That was her 4th home run on the season, and it adds another run on the board for Mississippi State. Now 2 in the first, 1 in the second, and 1 in the third, which we are currently in. 4-2 Dogs, and Jessie Blaine will step in, takes the first pitch low and out of the zone for ball 1.
Let's see if Blaine is patient again. She started 0-2, remember, with the count, the last at-bat, and then battled on to get on base, hit by pitch there.
Now Blaine takes this one in zone for strike 1. But State will be on the road for the next 2 series, and then we'll finish here at home against Ole Miss. But on the road at Oklahoma and then on the road at Kentucky. Blaine sends a blooper that drops in front of Cahalan and behind Updegrove for a single after the home run from Bernardini, so State with a runner on now.
Patience. She was patient, didn't let that bat come off of her shoulder, and then gets that little blooper bit underneath it, but just enough to bloop it over the shortstop Upgrove, who was racing back for it. So good job from her, just being patient. As she'll have a pinch runner. It'll be Greta Grassel, who pinch runs a lot. Her and Abby Grace Richardson, kind of the two along with Kaylani Sells, but those two, Grassel and Richardson, are the main ones you see.
Yeah, Grassel has pinch ran in all of the ball games now in this series, a freshman out of Boscobel, Wisconsin. Now Riley Hull will not be pinch hit for. She's been pinch hit for every now and then in the season, by especially by Paige Ernst, to see if maybe she tries to lay down a bunt here. She does, and she's going to foul this one over to the left in front of the Bulldog dugout.
Walker was ready for that at third base. She was already playing up, but she was in that little track stance, it looked like, ready to race up, grab it, throw it over to first, and possibly give the Tigers a chance at a double play.
Yeah, the key with this, you got to lay it down softly if you're Hull. An 0-1 count. She's going to try and lay it down again. Pulls the bat back, this one high, so evens the count up. Now Kiara Sells on deck, who homered in the second. One of the 2 Bulldog home runs in the game today.
It's always weird when you're trying to show bunts, and then all of a sudden it's that pitch is like coming straight at your face.
Hull unable to lay this one in fair territory, puts it in foul territory, kind of off the end of the bat there. So that'll make the count 1 and 2, and it's gonna be a
no bunt here.
Yeah, probably not gonna see a bunt here, as Walker in fact has backed up her heels even with the front of the third base bag. Hull will swing away and strikes out. So Hull unable to do her job there. Can't lay down the bunt, and then strikes out on a 1-2 count. So Kiara Sells going to step in for Mississippi State. As I mentioned, a home run in her last plate appearance that gave State the 3-2 lead. Now they lead 4-2 in the bottom half of the third in the rubber match against Missouri today.
Keep it off the ground here. Don't want to double play, as there is 1 out and a runner on first.
Pitch catches the inside corner for strike 1.
But the Tigers don't have to be, I guess, worried about Grassel stealing. She's only attempted two steals, successful on both of them, but not one that will steal a whole lot.
An off-speed pitch misses outside for ball 1. Yeah, doesn't really steal as much. Oh, you're right. Has scored 12 runs for State, though, this year. And as we mentioned, has been a very active pinch runner alongside Abby Grace Richardson and Kalani Sells. Kiara Sells fouls this one back and over onto the concourse, and it trickles back on down the stands. So now the count 1 and 2.
Oh, that's sweet. Little girl just gave this really little kid the ball that she got off of that foul ball.
Here's the 1-2 pitch, and it's fouled back. Keep the count alive. I appreciate you, Zach, for picking up my paper right there.
Sometimes this wind just knocks those papers over with this garage door. I love it having open it, but sometimes that wind just. Whew.
Well, hey, at least we got us a spot tucked in here.
That is true.
So here is the 1-2 to Kiara Sells with a runner at first base and 1 out in the inning. Swung on and missed a high pitch that Kiara Sells chases, and she strikes out for out number 2 in the inning, and it brings up Sierra Sacco. Sacco 2 for 2. A single in the center field, then an infield single in the second, in which she advanced to second on a throwing error by Walker. She was going to be safe either way. Just the throwing error scooted down the line, and Sacco was able to advance.
Yeah, that was a nice bunt she laid down in the second. And when you have somebody of her speed, we talked a bit about this after it happened, but forces a fast throw.
Now she sends one high into the air in right center. Ranging over is going to be Watkins, and she'll make the grab in front of her center fielder, Linger, for out number 3. So State with a leadoff home run, but unable to do any more damage. Did get another hit in the inning. It's 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and they leave Greta Grassel on base. State at least able to put another run on the board. And Mississippi State will head to now, before we do this, before we move, Greta Grassel is going back out to first base, and the offense is staying on the field.
Was there?
So I'm not sure what.
Could there have been interference or like a balk or something?
Not sure. We're gonna get some sort of information here. I'm not sure what happened though.
I hope
as
we
the
do.
Missouri defense is still staying on the field. We hadn't got an official word from our umpires yet, but they're coming back out on the field.
He's trying to give the explanation, but they thought it was the intermission, and they had the helmet shuffle
Yeah, they
going
did.
on. You get the helmet shuffle right?
Now hold on. Now they got music playing, so we can't even get a. Here we go.
Pitching.
So a pitch clock violation on Marissa McCann on the pitch that was flown out in the right center field. So that's actually going to be a ball in the count. And Sacco's going to go back into the box in a 1-0 count. So a big break there for State. And I tell you what, if you're Missouri and something happens where at least one more run gets across here in the 3rd inning, you're going to be pretty upset with that.
Huge break, though, for the Bulldogs.
Off-speed pitch misses high, so now a 2-0 count on the leadoff hitter for State. So you don't see a pitch clock violation, very often. Pitchers are pretty as this one misses for ball 3, so a chance maybe for Sacco to walk. But pitchers are pretty disciplined when it comes to, the pitch clock now that it's been established for a couple of years, so you don't really see it very often, but it still can't happen. So here's a 3-0 pitch to Sacco. It misses off the outside corner, and going to have a walk here for Sacco. So State able to catch a break, and now they get a runner in scoring position.
If you're McCann, you're not happy whatsoever.
Oh, no, not certainly. I mean, that's got to upset you if you're Marissa McCann. Just a simple mistake right there, and Sacco has reached base. Sacco now, she didn't get a hit there, but with the 2 hits earlier that she had, at average sitting at a clean 500 right now. Barbary will step into the first pitch she sees, catches the inside corner for strike 1. But Sacco, with that great average, I mean, she was great for State last year with a 347 average and was great with Louisiana Tech for the 2 years she played there. Barbary fouls this one back to the net. But, with Louisiana Tech, this was a decent amount of time ago, but she was a freshman of the year in Conference USA, was on that all-freshman team, was a 2-time first-team All-CUSA member, and broke the single-season hits record in Louisiana Tech history in her freshman year. Barbary singles right back up the middle. Rounding third is going to be Greta Grassel. The throw comes into third. Sacco is cut down. The run will score for Mississippi State, but Sacco cut down at third base trying to advance. But, hey, that one run got across, and definitely Missouri going to be upset with that. It's now 5-2.
Yeah, just a tad bit too aggressive by Sacco there. Had she held up at second, would have given Kylie Edwards a chance, who has been pretty hot so far this series.
So Mississippi State leads at 5-2 now as we go to the top half of the 4th. Going to take a short break. You're listening to Mississippi State Softball on the Bulldogs Student Sports Network.
Take a little time, come and see, groove me, give a little sign. I'll
Back here in Starkville News Park, top half of the fourth inning, Mississippi State 5, Missouri 2 in this rubber match on Masters Sunday. Masters Sunday also today in the sports world. You got the final pairing, the top two was Rory McIlroy and Bryson DeChambeau for all you golf watchers out there. I believe Bryson DeChambeau up 1 right now, rooting for my guy Bryson. Hope he wins. But Masters Sunday over there in Augusta, Georgia. This pitch misses inside to Madison Walker for a ball. Walker, a fielder's choice in the first. Grounded into a fielder's choice.
I think that was the awkward, or was that Watkins that awkward? No, it was Walker, that awkward little thing where Sells thought she had that, and then
Yeah, that's right. That's right. The Sells dove for a bloop hit into shallow right and went out of her glove, but Sells threw it over to Kylie Edwards for the force out, and that retired Cahalan, who was at first base. Now the 1-0 misses low for ball 2.
Yeah, that was a bit of a weird sequence because Cahalan, you don't want to get thrown out at first because you forgot to tag up. So it's better to be safe than sorry.
Just having a discussion here between home plate umpire Donald Brown and the Missouri head coach. I don't know what that discussion could be, but we are having a discussion. And now they both break, and we'll go back to play in just a moment.
She did not look happy, let's just say that.
She had one of those conversations, where she just, you're exactly right. Ain't nothing I can say. It's better than what you said. Yeah, she just didn't look happy. So here's the 2-0, and it's going to be fouled back to the net for strike 1.
Watch out, Ebbs. That one glanced off of her helmet. Luckily, all the speed and pace had been taken out after it hit the net. But still, hey, take cover.
That's why they wear the helmet, though.
Ah,
Mm-hmm.
I knew that.
So here's the 2-1. To Madison Walker, as we mentioned, 0 for 1 in the ball game. Ooh, wave and a miss at the off-speed pitch from Chafin.
That's the off speed that we saw Friday that's diced up the Tigers' offense. And good job once again shuffling up those pitches, getting Walker just a bit off of her game.
So here's a 2-2 to Madison Walker. Fly into right center field, and Sacco going to call off Kiara Sells and make the grab for out number 1. So good job by Chafin battling back from a 2-0 count to get a fly out after 2 strikes.
It must be nice having that big old yellow ball just able to pinpoint it in the sky. I'm not talking about the sun. I'm talking about the actual softball.
Yeah.
That bright neon, just easier to pinpoint in the sky.
So in steps Taylor Ebbs, who had a 2-run home run in the first inning that gave Missouri the lead 2-0. State has now battled back and scored 2 in the first, 1 in the second, and 2 in the third. They lead the game 5-2. Ebbs fouled the first pitch back for strike 1. Here's the 0-1. Check swing that just lands in foul territory for ball 2. Or excuse me, for strike 2, rather. Got
That was
those
almost
mixed up.
That was almost fair. That was almost a little accidental hit.
Yeah, almost a check swing single right there.
Not something you see very often.
No, not very much. But Chafin, a senior, one of the two seniors on from Louisiana. Sacco also from the state of Louisiana. This off-speed pitch misses low, The ball 1, but she's out of Sacco out of Marrero and Raylan out of Bossier City. Airline High School, a transfer from LSU, played 3 years there. There's the 1-2, misses outside. But you mentioned this yesterday, pitch for Team USA at the 21 WBSC. That's the U8. I don't know what that World Baseball Softball Classic.
Yes.
Bang. Got that one.
Good job.
The Under-18 World Cup. This one grounded softly over to Riley Hole. She steps on the bag for out number 2, but pitched for Team USA in that and actually won gold. So has that on her resume. Pretty cool thing to have. But, played with LSU, as I mentioned, for 3 years. Went well over 100 strikeouts, 53 appearances, had 23 wins in those 3 years, and really has been a great add in the portal for Samantha Ricketts and Taryn Moat McKinney at Mississippi State. Now this first pitch to Abby Hay catches the outside corner for strike 1.
Well, 100 strikeouts in 3 years. She now has almost 100 and just one shy of 150 strikeouts alone in this season.
Yeah, I mean she's been fantastic this season.
She's 51 strikeouts away of being the second Bulldog pitcher to have 200 or more strikeouts in a single season.
She could. I mean, it's going to be. She have to get a lot of strikeouts, but she could hit 200 this season as the 0-1 missed outside for ball 1.
Well, because I think there's 10 games left in the regular season at least, because there was 13 heading into this series. So she's got 10 more games, so she's got to average about 5 strikeouts a game.
Well, we've got actually, as this one misses low and in for ball 2, there's actually, doing the math in my head, there's 9.
9.
So, yeah, just a little over 5 then, a little over 5. And then I'm pretty sure they'll probably count postseason play in that too. So State should easily make the postseason. So, might have a chance there to use the postseason as a little help on that. Now the 2-1 caught the zone for 2-2, so Deuce is on the board here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Here is the 2-2. Just misses the outside corner for ball 3. The count's full on Abby Hay, who's 0 for 1 today with a ground out. Back to Raylan Chafin. Now here's the full count pitch. Hay waits on this one, drives it out to right field on a line, but Sells easily going to catch that one. And she runs back in and puts that one right in the circle as the inning is over. Another 1-2-3 inning, back-to-back 1-2-3 innings for Raylan Chafin. It's a fly out, ground out, and a line out. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base as we head to the bottom half of the fourth. State with a 5-2 lead over Missouri in this rubber match.
Yes, Kiara Sells, just a great hop there. Good reaction, seeing that there's a chance it's going to fall, and doing a good job of just reacting fast, as I said, sort of reaching out and snagging that to end at the bottom of the fourth, or top of the fourth, sorry, as we head to the bottom of the fourth. And give the Bulldogs a chance to keep scoring. They've scored in every inning so far. See if they can keep it up, as you've got Morgan Stiles up to bat for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, you got
Kylie
Edwards. Yeah, Kylie Edwards. Morgan Stiles is on deck, so 3, 4, and 5 due up for State's Edwards, Stiles, and Wesolowski. Marissa McCann still out in the circle for Missouri.
Yeah, Edwards kind of hiding down there from me.
Yeah.
Can't pinpoint sometimes.
Little update on Mississippi State baseball. Still with the lead in the bottom half of the fifth in Tuscaloosa, trying to win Game 3 and win the series over the ranked Crimson Tide. But a 2-1 lead. Runners at first and second, though, for Alabama with 1 out in the inning. So hopefully State can kind of escape that jam and win the ball game today over Alabama. Men's tennis in progress right now. Mississippi State men's tennis also playing Alabama, and women's tennis playing Arkansas today. So a lot of athletic events going on around Mississippi State athletics, but focused on the one here in Starkville and Noose Park. Mississippi State 5, Missouri 2, as we are now in the bottom half of the fourth. Kylie Edwards stepping in to face Marissa McCann.
Almost had identical hits in the first and second. The first, that little grounder past the third baseman down the left field line, and then almost had one that barely went foul down the right field line, but instead flew out in the second.
Yeah, she flew out in the second, 1 for 2 in the game today. She took the first pitch of this at bat for a ball. 15 walks on the season for her and a .333 average, a .410 on base percentage. Now this one also misses, so the count 2-0 when she's leading off innings this season. A .462 hitter. So it's been really good when leading off for Mississippi State.
Yeah, I wouldn't complain.
Yeah, I wouldn't complain about that either. And now this one misses high for a ball, so 3-0 count. McCann in danger of walking the Bulldog leadoff batter in Kylie Edwards.
Doing a good job of staying patient, as I talked about earlier. Just be patient against her because then she gets a bit flustered.
This one misses a zone. 4-pitch walk to start the inning. Edwards trots down her first base coach, Zach Shaw, as the cleanup hitter, Morgan Stiles, will step in. She's also she's walked today, but has walked times 2. Walked twice today for Mississippi State.
She is one of the better batters at staying patient. And see if she'll be more aggressive here with a runner on or just keep being patient with that .306 average.
She squares around the bunt, but kind of pulled back and took a called strike. So the count is 0-1 on her. She's 2 for 6 in the series. Pretty good series for her so far against Mizzou. Here's the 0-1. She'll swing away and sends this one into left center. Back at the wall. It's still going, and it's gone. A home run, 2-run shot for Morgan Stiles. Another home run for Mississippi State today, and they lead this rubber match 7-2 over Missouri.
That's what I was looking for in the first 3 innings. You get a runner on to start things off, but then they couldn't really capitalize. But now they capitalize. You get the runner on and then a 2-shot homer there, and now you're up by 5.
Up by 5. That's the 3rd home run of the day for Mississippi State. State finally executes with a runner on, and finally it's another home run their 3rd. This one with 2 runs instead of the 2 solo shots, and you got some maroon and white chants echoing here at Noose Park.
And you got a pitcher change as well for the Tigers. So McCann is done, and you got a new pitcher for the Bulldogs. For the Tigers.
Yeah.
Bulldogs, Tigers, whatever. It's number 14 for the Tigers, Natalie Touche.
Yeah, Natalie Touche going to come in. She pitched in the ball game on Friday. Went 2/3 of an inning, gave up a hit, gave up 3 runs. None of those were earned. Those were all credited to Sierra Harrison. Faced 6 Bulldog batters and threw 27 pitches, but she is a sophomore out of Aledo, Texas, Aledo High School. Had only 6 appearances last year with 5 2/3 innings and a 2.47 ERA. But now 13 appearance. This will be her 13th appearance on the season. And opponents are plus 300 against her this season. So maybe Missouri now a little bit uneasy. That offense is going to have to come alive when they get back to bat, but got to get out of this inning. Still no outs in the inning after a leadoff walk and a 2-run home run from Morgan Stiles.
Yeah, Ella Weslowski. But as you said, the Tigers' offense has kind of stuttered this game. They started out pretty decent bats coming off their shoulder, but then Raylan Chafin's done a good job at keeping them off guard. They're on their toes, not sure what to expect because Chafin's really, really good at mixing up pitches, and they're not sure what to do. But they've got to get hot, down by 5. But first, they've got to get out of this inning with no outs, nobody on, and 2 runs already scored.
So Ella Weslowski going to step in for Mississippi State. This pitch misses high for ball 1. Weslowski 1 for 2 in the game. Had a 2-run double in the first. A ground out to then pitcher Marissa McCann in the second. She fouls this one off the netting above the Missouri dugout for strike 1. So 1-1 to count.
I know we've said this a lot today, but I can't keep bragging about her. She's really come alive this series, and it's great to see, especially if you're a Bulldog fan. If you've been listening to us, just if you go back and watch the games, she's done phenomenal.
Here's the 1-1, misses the outside corner for ball 2. But, yeah, you think about that, hate that it's happening, but, Lexi Sosa has struggled a little bit at the plate for Mississippi State. So, you try and switch, Jesse Blaine to the designated players. Wesolowski with another hit, singles through the 6-hole, and a single still with no outs here in the inning. But back to that point, Sosa has struggled a little bit. So, for Game 2 and Game 3, State decided, hey, we're going to go Jesse Blaine at designated player and put Wesolowski behind the plate, because, she has definitely has experience behind the plate for Mississippi State. And she's been great defensively. She's thrown out a runner today back at first base, but offensively she's kind of found her stride. So it's good that, State's kind of finding that, a good correlation between the designated player and the catcher.
Right, and as you said, Lexi Sosa struggling, Wesolowski coming alive at that perfect time because Sosa is struggling, and you need somebody to step in and fill those shoes because Sosa's been a pretty good hitter at least to start the season and then hit that slump, but she hadn't batted a whole lot before this season either.
Morgan Bernardini steps in. The first pitch was a ball. Now this one a called strike on the outside corner. But State still with no outs in the inning. They lead 7-2 after coming into the inning with a 5-2 lead. Stiles with a 2-run home run to left center field. This one also on the outside corner, but it's too far out to be called a strike, so 2-1 to count.
Once again, staying patient, and that's how she got the home run back in the third. Just staying patient and then getting that pitch she liked and sending that thing flying.
Yeah, State with a home run in back-to-back innings. The 2-1 missed low for a ball, so 3-1 the count. But State has, been lethal in hitting home runs this season. Has hit a good chunk. I'm sure it's around 60 now on the season. This may be another send into right center field back, and Watkins going to make the play on the warning track. Tagging from first is Wesolowski. Good heads-up play by her, and she'll tag to second base. So an out, though, in the inning, but a sac fly technically for Morgan Bernardini.
Yeah, just not enough power there. Almost. The wind's blowing towards the outfield, more towards the left field than the right field. Maybe a bit more center, but just not enough juice on there, just a tad bit too under it. But still a great hit. Wesolowski, good aggressive base running as Blaine will have a chance.
Yeah, Blaine steps in, re-entering. She was pinch run for by Greta Grassel. The first pitch to her is taken for a called strike, but she's 1 for 1. She was hit by a pitch in the first and then a single in the third. But, yeah, good job at least by Bernardini to drill that one deep enough to where Wesolowski could tag. All-speed pitch hits the outside corner for strike 2. State's got those smoke cannons on both dugouts, and they've seen a lot of action today. 3 home runs for the Bulldogs in this ball game alone. Now this 0-2 misses low in the dirt, so 1-2 the count.
Yeah, doing a good job of just not biting. Now that wasn't a pitch where a lot of batters are like, oh, I got to swing at it, but still a good job of staying patient, not biting.
Here's the 1-2. Blaine sends it into left center field. Don't think it's going to be deep enough for a tag, as Cahalan will range over and make the grab, throw it into the cutoff up to Grove. Staying put at second base will be Wesolowski, and Blaine retired on a fly ball. State will go with a pinch hitter here for Riley Hull, who's 0 for 2 in the game. It'll be Paige Ernstis, who has seen a lot of action in SEC play, just overall in regular season play this year.
Pinch hitter Paige. That's what they call her.
That's what they call her?
Yeah.
I like that.
I mean, that's
Pinch hitter Paige.
that's pretty much all she's done this season, and she's been pretty darn good at that.
Yes, she has a .333 average in 33 at-bats. That's 11 hits. But, yeah, it's been pretty good for Mississippi State. Even has 2 home runs pinch hitting this season.
I think the biggest hit all season was that walk-off in Game 1 against Texas. That was huge. Runner on second, just able to find the gap in the outfield, and runner gets home.
Ernstis, 222 average with runners in scoring position this season. And she takes the first pitch on the inside corner for strike one, but a 222 average, not where you want it with runners in scoring position. Would like to have another run here to add a little bit of insurance, but she's been good with 2 outs this year, a 467 hitter with 2 outs. Now this one misses low for ball 1. Evens the count up. 1-1, 2 outs in the inning. Runner at second base in Ella Wesolowski, who singled. State leads 7-2 after a 2-run home run from Morgan Bernardini, who led off the inning. Who was in the hole to lead off the inning. Now this pitch is going to catch the zone for strike 2.
Yeah, that's been the inside's kind of been the biggest gray area of the day. Just batters crowding the plate a bit, some not, and just one of the hardest sides to call.
This one misses the zone for ball 2, and it's Morgan Stiles the home run, not Morgan Bernardini. That's on me. I think I said Morgan Bernardini. She was the 2-hole hitter in the inning. And she had that home run for Mississippi State. 2-2 pitch popped high into the air by Ernstis. It's in foul territory, ranging over as Walker, and it'll bounce right out of the glove. So Ernstis catches a break and will stay alive.
I think those barks that the Bulldog dugout does whenever a player gets close help, because it looked like she kind of got caught off guard and just closed the glove a tad bit too early.
Yeah, looking into that sun, too, definitely got to be tough as well. And it's always tough ranging over in foul territory as a corner infielder to make a play.
And not wearing sunglasses either.
Yeah. This pitch sent high into the air into left field and foul. Out of play on top of the practice facility, new facility for Mississippi State. State as a team, 10 hits in 20 registered at bats. Drawn 4 walks today, but 10 for 20 is good for 500 as a team this ball game. Ernstis sends a blooper in the left field down the line. It's going to be just foul, and it'll get down. Ernstis will stay alive in the count.
Cahalan almost had that. She dove out to grab it, but just a tad bit too far in front of her, and then she kind of slid into the wall, a bit slow to get up, but she slowly walks back to that left field position. But good hustle by her, and Ernstis stays alive.
So 2-2 count, Deuces on the board with 2 outs. Runner at second for State. That wind blowing out to left field in favor of the pull side for Ernstis. Here is the 2-2. Just didn't catch the inside corner. Touche was kind of heading towards the Missouri dugout, wanting that to be a strike 3. She didn't get it. So now the count is full on Bulldog pinch hitter Paige Ernstis. There's the full count pitch. In the dirt. And Wesolowski will advance on that as Abrascato kept it in front of her in terms of blocking it up, but it just scooted too far out in front of her, and Wesolowski read the BID, ball in the dirt, and advanced to third. So runners at the corners now with 2 outs for MSU, and Riley Hull will re-enter to run for Paige Ernstis as she draws the walk-on. It's a really, really good at-bat for her, battling back from a 2-strike count.
Battling back, patience, but when it mattered, able to get a foul. A couple of those were close to being fair or being caught, but just luck went her way this at-bat.
Yeah, especially with, Walker dropping that pop fly in foul territory. Definitely luck in the favor of her. So Kiara Sells will step in. Had a home run in the second inning, 2 home runs in this series. Struck out in the third. Pitch to her is called strike 1. Excuse me. So 0-1 the count on her. But Sells, 1 for 2 today as she takes this one for ball 1. So 1-1 the count. Bottom half of the 4th inning. State leads 7-2. They have runners at the corners They already scored 2 in this inning off of Morgan Styles' 2-run homer. Sells sends this one into left center field. Back at the wall. Kiss it goodbye, Missouri. This one long gone into the trees behind the left center field wall. Mississippi State 10, Missouri 2. Kiara Sells with her second home run of the ball game and her third of the series.
That thing was smoked. Holy cow. I was watching that go back. I knew for a fact it was out, just didn't know how far. And then all of a sudden I see those branches move because the ball hit. I was like, holy cow, was that smoked on? And good news for the Bulldogs. 7-run rule in effect, or 8-run rule now in effect, but Tigers will still have a chance to bat. But holy cow, it's your best hitter, Sierra Sacco, has a chance to do some more damage here. And Tigers kind of just in shock right now, not sure what to do.
Well, what they're going to do right now is make a pitching change. It's going to be Pinnell who's going to come in. Taylor Pinnell pitched in yesterday's ball game, came in relief and got a save, I believe. It might have been registered to save. No, she wasn't registered to save. But came in late in the ball game to kind of shut things down in that 7th inning for Mississippi State, where they tried to climb back into it. But through 1 inning on 1 hit, no walks, no earned runs or anything, had 2 strikeouts and faced 4 Mississippi State batters throwing 19 pitches. But Mississippi State with a 10-2 lead, and they'll face now Taylor Pinnell.
Things got a bit dicey for her last night. Able to finish things off, but things got a bit scary there for the Tigers as all of a sudden their 7-run lead got cut down to 4, and Bulldogs were just a couple hits away from tying it all up, but she did a good job of getting things settled back down and finishing things off as she comes in, now faced with an 8-run deficit compared to a 7-run advantage. So we'll see what she can do against the Bulldogs' best hitter. And yeah, they need something. The Tigers need something to go their way here. Nothing's gone their way.
They just got to get out of this inning. It's been a 5-spot put on Missouri by Mississippi State. State has scored in every single inning in this ball game, and we mentioned that in the pregame, right? State had a couple of innings, or a good bit of innings, especially in the middle of the ball game, like the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th innings where they were just scoreless. They were also scoreless in the 1st, but that middle of the ball game is where they struggled to score. And when Missouri was adding on runs, right, as Sacco steps in, takes the first pitch, upset about taking that one for strike 1. But, you know, when Missouri was scoring, State was still unable to score. State, and we mentioned State needed to be consistent with at least getting one across in maybe every inning. Sacco drills it into right field and a base hit, but State has gotten those runs across every inning. It's been 1 for 1 inning and then more than 1 for every other inning.
Yeah, yes it has, and I think the biggest thing, the difference why they've had more success in the middle couple innings compared to yesterday is they're capitalizing when runners are on base. And that's what we said in the pregame. You have to do that. And even though they've left 6 on base, so that's 6 potential runs left on base, they've done a good job of capitalizing. It could be up to 12, 13 left on base if they haven't been able to get those hits they've gotten so far.
Barbary will step in, and Sacco going to try and steal the bag at second. She is called safe. So a stolen bag for her 15th of the year, and a runner in scoring position again for Mississippi State. Nadia Barbary trying to grab another RBI, had an RBI single in the 3rd. But yeah, State, as you mentioned, been good with runners on. Now 5 for 15. Started the game a little slow in that department, but 5 for 15 as Barbary sends this one foul down the left field line. Probably would have been gone if it had stayed fair, but you mentioned runners on. State 5 for 15 now. 333 is a team with runners on, and with runners in scoring position, 3 for 9. 333 as well. So they've been good in that department. So 1-1 count on Barbary. This one inside, so 2-1 the count. Again, new pitcher Taylor Pinnell for Missouri has been mainly a closer for the Tigers this year.
Yeah, but the Tigers have had to dig deep into their bullpen a bit today, as unlike yesterday, hitting's going the way of the Bulldogs today, as strike 2 is called.
Yeah, Barbary takes that one for strike 2. But, yeah, I mean, it's kind of the opposite, right? Missouri didn't have to dig too far in the bullpen, at least until towards the end of the game. State was in the bullpen all day, but now it's been Raylan Chafin all day for MSU. And it's been a number of pitchers for Missouri. Now, Barbary sends one high and foul down the left side over in the left field.
That hit the top of the net, no joke. It almost balanced on the top of it, so just a matter of inches for Barbary for it to keep staying alive.
Yeah, she'll stay alive here at a 2-2 count with 2 outs in the inning. 10-2 Mississippi State. They put a 5 spot on Missouri here in the 4th. Now this one sent foul down the third base line, and we'll do the 2-2 again. State baseball still in action. Top half of the 6th. They got out of that bottom half of the 5th, and they, in fact, just scored another run. They're up 3-1 on Alabama as they go now to the bottom half of the 6th. Pitch high and a swing and a miss by Barbary for out number 3, but State is heard in that inning emphatically. 5 runs on 4 hits, 1 error from Missouri. They do leave a runner on base, but a lot of damage done in that inning for Mississippi State. And we'll go to the top half of the 5th. We're going to take a little break. It's going to be Raylan Chafin still out there. Run rule in effect, the 10-2 ball game, so 8-run rule is in effect. Chafin trying to go for her 14th complete game on the season. We'll be back in just a moment. 10-2, Mississippi State leading Missouri in this rubber match on a fine Sunday afternoon in Starkville, Mississippi. You're listening to Mississippi State Softball on the Bulldog Student Sports Network.
You got a lot of nerve, don't you, baby? I only hit the curb 'cause you made me. You're telling all your friends that I'm crazy, like I'm the only one. Why'd you throw them stones if you had a wild heaven on it too? Living in your big glass house with a view. I thought you knew I had some help. It ain't like I can make this kind of mess all by myself. Don't act like you ain't helped me pull that bottle off the shelf. Been deep in every weekend. If you couldn't tell, they say teamwork makes a dream work. Hell, I
Back here on the Bulldog Student Sports Network, Mississippi State 10, Missouri 2 as we are in the top half of the 5th inning. One small fielding change for Mississippi State. Pretty much happens every ball game, but Kalani Sells is in left field replacing Morgan Bernardini. So the same battery out there. Wesolowski behind the plate, Chafin in the circle, Hull at first, Styles at second, Edwards at short, Barbary at third, Kalani Sells in left, Sacco in center, and Kiara Sells in right field.
Jeez, Ty, I gotta stop dropping things.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I dropped my, as the first pitch from Chafin to Abrascato misses for a ball. I dropped my folder, and Zach picked it up for me, so thank you, Zach.
Of course. Hey, you like that Black Sabbath? You fan of 80s music?
More so 80s country.
80s country, fair enough. 80s country, that's probably the best country there is.
Yeah, you're exactly right on that one. This one in there for a called strike 1. Yeah, 80s, 90s country. That's what I'm into. Well, George Strait, Brooks and Dunn, Alan Jackson,
Ooh.
all those guys. So 1-1 count on Stefania Abrascato. She sends this one into shallow right. Sells ranging in. She'll make the play. Tough play, kind of guarding her eyes from the sun. Even with sunglasses on out there, she's making a tough play for out number 1.
Well, that went a mile high. I swear it went out of our view here, and it just way up in the air. And the longer it's in the air, the more the sun affects you, as you were saying. And even with sunglasses, the longer you're staring, the harder it is to pinpoint even that neon yellow ball.
So Madison up the Grove will step in for Missouri. We're having a discussion between Missouri coaching staff and the home plate umpire, and we're going to have a pinch hitter for Missouri. It's going to be
Abby Wilhelm.
Abby Wilhelm, who's going to step in, a freshman out of Lee Summit, Missouri.
She's batted a bit, or she's pinch ran a couple through the couple of the game, a couple times throughout the series.
Yeah, she's seen some action in the series this weekend, so going to get a chance to bat here in the top half of the fifth. First pitch to her was a strike. This one fouled back to the net for strike 2.
Yeah, only 7 at-bats heading to this at-bat on the season. Has yet to have a hit, but scored 1 run, and that's because she's mainly used as a pinch runner, sort of like Abby Grace Richardson, Greta Grassel, used primarily in that space because of the speed she has.
0-2 pitch misses high and out for ball 1 from Chafin. Maybe trying to get a chase there, but I'm sure she didn't want it to miss as out as it did. So 1-2 the count, 1 out in the inning after Abrascato flew out to Kiara Sells in right field. All-speed pitch. Diced Wilhelm up for strike 3. That one, okay looking. And Chafin with her 3rd strikeout of the afternoon.
1 more out of the way, Ty. 1 more.
Yeah, 1 out away. State trying to run rule Missouri. Now, also going to be another pinch hitter for Missouri. It's going to be number 12, Maya Dodge. She swings and misses at the first pitch for strike 1. Dodge, a junior for Missouri. She was with Missouri last year, played in 39 games. With Northern Iowa, her first her first season. Off-speed pitch from Chafin, misses for ball 1, evens the count up.
She's going to try and dodge the game ending by getting on base here, Ty.
There's the 1 pun from Zach Sizemore.
Gotta get one in each broadcast. Hopefully get a couple of laughs out of the people listening back home.
This pitch misses off the outside corner for for ball 2. That one was close, and a 2-1 count now on pinch hitter Maya Dodge.
Good pitch there, just once again a little bit too far outside, a bit farther than she wanted, but still a good job of forcing Dodge to feel like she has to swing.
As she swings there, it's kind of a check swing, and it ends up getting in the air, and Kylie Edwards makes a diving catch for out number 3, and that'll put a wrap on this ball game. That'll end the ball game. Mississippi State wins 10-2 over Missouri, Zach.
Yeah, Kylie Edwards ending the game. The way she does a lot of plays, just making a spectacular grab, just laying out almost in a full Superman, able to just snag that out of the air, and that's the game. Bulldogs win the series.
Yeah, Mississippi State winners of the series over Missouri. They run rule the Tigers 10-2, and will send Missouri back to Columbia with another series loss on the season for them. But State picks up their 3rd SEC series win on the year, and they move to 10-6 in the SEC. 9-6 in the SEC, and 33-10 on the season. So 33-10 is Mississippi State, and 9. I got to make sure that record is right. I'm not quite sure that record's right. Hold on, let me make sure. State now 33-11 and 9-6. So 33-11 and 9-6. Missouri 21-24 and 3-12 in the SEC is Mississippi State winners over Missouri 10-2, a run rule win over Missouri. And Mississippi State will head to, as we mentioned, Norman, Oklahoma next weekend. No midweek for the Bulldogs, but good to get a series win at home. Their second to last series win, or second to last series here at home. Hopefully their last series at home they can close out the home stretch with a win over Ole Miss. But as of now, Mississippi State winners 10-2 over Missouri. They captured the series over the Tigers. We will take a short break, and I'll be back for the post-game show. Mississippi State 10, Missouri 2. Be back in just a moment. You're listening to Mississippi State Softball on the Bulldog Student Sports Network.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they say there. 'Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them stay there.
Ludacris going in on the verse, 'cause I never been defeated and I won't stop now. Keep your hands up, get them in the sky for the homies that ain't making it, my folks locked down. I never went nowhere, what they saying Luda's back. Blame it on that contour, the hood call it Luda-yak. And I'm on this foolish track, so I spit my foolish flow. My hands go up and down, like strippers' booties go. My verses still be serving, tight like a million virgins. Last time on a college remix, now I'm on the original version. Can't never count me out, y'all better count me in. Got 20 bank accounts, accountants count me in. Make millions every year, the South champion. 'Cause all I do is
win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
MSU, and we about to roll. And everywhere we go, we taking control. We MSU, and when that whistle blow, you already know that we gonna show. 'Cause we MSU.
Starkville is the place to be. Since I was 19, you can find me maroon and white tee. Stay grinding, you're not on my team to get behind me and stay behind. You will play behind. Man, I'm in a Mississippi state of mind, and this state of mind ain't a greater time. Take a break in line and just take what's mine. It's an our state, our place, and you can see that it's written on our face. This is our break, our race, and if you ain't with it, get out of our way. Now stand up in your seat, sling a cowbell to the beat. Got 3-6 on my cheek, my boy and B gonna rest in peace.
We just left the bin and cowbell to the wind, and this maroon and white is blending like I'm Two-Face, Harvey Dent, and my friends up in the tent, and you know they Mississippi, and we coming for your hearts. So before we start, gonna put a stint in. My state of mind is a place for these dime rhymes to mint, and if you cross the line, that's the place that they're gonna be spent in. I'm looking at the Mississippi women, and the district got me grinning. You step up in the pen, man, you probably gon' get bit.
MSU, and we about to roll. And everywhere we go, we taking control. We MSU, and when that whistle blow, you already know that we gon' show. 'Cause we MSU, and we about to roll. And everywhere we go, we taking control. We MSU, and when that whistle blow, you already know that we gon' show. 'Cause we
We up the
MSU.
star, Vegas. We got that bar, baby. And all ladies breaking hearts, they call it sharp baiting. That identity, some crisis left you lifeless like your sparks. They need to decide who y'all move side, 'cause this state is ours, baby. Star crazy coming to pound, man. We drooling. You looking like a new kid in town. You gon' get bullied. You better draw back, bruh. We on the attack, bruh. We dogs of war, we coming forward. You can see that it's written on the dog tag.
And we ain't listening to what you think we gon' do. 'Cause either way we coming for you. And it don't matter how we do, we gonna stay true.
'Cause that's true maroon and that's through and through.
From that L-I-S-S-I. Now stay from the stand full of plate and my hand full of cheese fries. S-S-I. Cause I beat me, you know that we believe. Hit the street when we're ready, check me eat on the Yeti, you can see that we're reppin' S-T-A-T-E till we D-I-E. Every place that we step in, so rap that in maroon and white. We're gonna rule the night, we're gonna do the fight song all the way down Main and I ain't gonna make it back to maroon tonight. Or wherever my head lands, long as that golden egg still stands behind that glass, I don't have to ask. I know we adding who I am, we MSU.
And we about to roll. And everywhere we go, we taking control. We MSU, and when that
Back here on the Bulldog Student Sports Network, Mississippi State winners over Missouri 10-2 in this rubber match in Starkville, Mississippi on a beautiful afternoon here on the campus of Mississippi State University. But State 10-2 win over Missouri here in Game 3. Welcome into the Bulldog Student Sports Network post-game show. Discuss a little bit of the ball game with you and let you be on your way and enjoy the rest of your Sunday afternoon wherever you may be listening from. But Mississippi State wins the ball game, wins the series. First series win since the first SEC series win since the Alabama series. Good to get back in the win column again today. State battling back from a tough loss yesterday, 12-8 to Missouri, and able to dominate offensively, have a good pitching game, and ended up winning the ball game. So for Mississippi State, Raylan Chafin with the win. It's her 14th complete game on the season. She went 5 innings pitched, obviously, as we only played 5 here today with the run rule for State. 2 hits given up, 2 runs, all of them earned. Those 2 runs given up in the first inning for Missouri. They had a 2-run shot to right center field by Taylor Ebbs. That was the only thing that Missouri could get across the or on the scoreboard. No walks for Chafin. She did have a hit batter, 3 strikeouts for her, adding to that large tally on the season. Faced 17 batters for Missouri and threw 78 total pitches in the ballgame. But she's credited with the win. She moves to 18-6 on the season. Missouri, with Sierra Harrison, who started, she is credited with the loss, moves to 9-8 on the season. Went 1 inning pitched, 5 hits, 3 runs, all of them earned, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, faced 10 batters and threw 40 pitches. McCann came in relief, gave up 4 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts, faced 12 Bulldog hitters and threw 56 pitches. Natalie Touche with 2/3 of an inning pitch, 2 hits, 3 runs, none of them earned, 1 walk. Faced 5 batters for Mississippi State and threw 25 pitches. And then Taylor Pinnell came in the back half of the bottom of the 4th and threw 1/3 of an inning, gave up a hit. Only faced 2 Bulldog hitters and threw 9 total pitches. Mississippi State, though, we'll first look at the final line score for both teams, and then I'll go over the offensive output for State today. For Missouri first, 2 runs in the first and then no runs for the rest of the ball game, so 2 runs total, 2 hits, 2 errors, nobody left on base for Missouri. Base paths were pretty clean today for Mississippi State's pitching staff and their defense. For Mississippi State, their line scored 2 runs in the first, 1 in the second, 2 in the third, and 5 in the fourth that put the run rule in effect, and then State not batting in the 5th inning as Missouri went 3 up and 3 down in that top half of the 5th. State scoring in every inning in this ball game. It was 10 runs scored on the day on 12 hits. No errors from Mississippi State's defense. They leave 7 on base. Mississippi State, their lineup, Sierra Sacco had a great day, perfect at the plate. Advanced on every opportunity she had, 3 for 3. Run scored, walked once, so 4 times at the plate, and she advanced 4 times. Nadia Barbary went 1 for 4 with a RBI single in the ball game. Kylie Edwards 1 for 2, 2 runs scored, walked as well. Morgan Stiles went 1 for 1 in the ball game, walked twice, and had a 2-run home run in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Ella Wesolowski went 2 for 3 today, continuing the great play that she's had throughout this series. Scored a run, also had 2 RBIs in the ball game. Morgan Bernardini went 1 for 3, scored a run and an RBI in the game. Jesse Blaine 1 for 2 today. Also reached on a hit by pitch in the ball game. Riley Hull 0 for 2, but did score a run as she I believe she either got on an error or on a fielder's choice or a base on balls. I can't quite remember, but she was able to come around and score for State today. Paige Ernstis did have a pinch hitting appearance for Riley Hull. She was able to walk in that pinch hitting appearance. And then Kiara Sells was also great today. 2 for 3, and those 2 hits were jacks out of the yard. 2 home runs for her, had 4 RBIs on the ball game. 2 runs scored. Those were her own runs scored in the home runs. So, yeah, good day for her as well. So you look at it, Sierra Sacco and Kiara Sells, probably your players of the game, along with Ella Wesolowski, offensively your players of the game. They just had a fantastic afternoon for Mississippi State, and they helped tally 12 hits for the Bulldogs. State had 12 hits in the ball game yesterday. Was unable to come out with a win, as Missouri just had their best SEC performance yesterday hitting, but not today. Mississippi State kind of stifled that on in terms of pitching and with defense and things like that. No errors for State today defensively, and they were able to not commit any errors. 3 yesterday for Mississippi State's defense, so that was really a big impact for the Bulldogs as well. And another thing too, Raylan Chafin with no walks. I think Mississippi State, as a team yesterday, it had no walks but had a couple of hit by pitches. Now State only had 1 hit by pitch in the game today, but just not as many freebies given up today for Mississippi State's defense and their offense, and that's a good reason why State was so successful in keeping Missouri off the board outside of the first inning. But that offense today for Mississippi State was just absolutely fantastic. I mean, 4 home runs for the Bulldogs today, and 2 from Sells, 1 from Morgan Stiles, and then another one that's escaping me who hit that other home run. Let's see. Pardon my taking forever to figure this out. Morgan Bernardini had that home run as well. So Bernardini, Stiles, and Sells with 2. So, State with a lot of their runs scored off the long ball, but also they were just good today with runners on base and with runners in scoring position. Not as good as yesterday, which is interesting. Even though they won today, they still weren't as good with runners on base as they were yesterday, but were better than they were in Game 1, and they won Game 1. So that's something interesting to think about. But State with runners on was 313 today, 5 for 16, and with runners in scoring position was 300, 3 for 10. State, with 2 outs too, was actually really good. 500 as a team. 3 for 6 was Mississippi State with 2 outs today. Overall as a team, State was 522. 522 for Mississippi State today as a team. And they drew 5 walks as well, and 1 hit by pitch. So they reached on at technical walks 6 times in the game. So Bulldog hitters were really good and disciplined in the box today, and it definitely showed on the scoreboard and in the hits column. 10 runs on 12 hits for Mississippi State. So a really good win for the Bulldogs today, able to grab their 3rd SEC Series win of the season, and they moved to 33-11 and 9-6 in the SEC. Missouri falling now to 21-24 and 3-12 in the SEC. Going to wrap up the postgame in just a moment here. We got the police versus firefighters home run derby just about set to get underway here at News Park. So that should be interesting. We'll see what happens there. Zach told me firefighters have won 3 times in a row, so police department try and do something today. You can't get blanked 4 times in a row, so they gotta provide some sort of something today. We'll see what happens, but good to have the policemen of Starkville and the firemen of Starkville out here today. Good thing that Mississippi State softball and Mississippi State athletics is doing, to do good things for the people, or for the people that in our community that are, save people in our community. So, really good for Mississippi State softball and Mississippi State athletics to be doing this. But a little update on sports just around Mississippi State Athletics. The Bulldogs in Tuscaloosa playing baseball, going to the top half of the 8th. They have claimed the lead over Alabama 3-2. 3-2, Mississippi State leads Alabama in the rubber match in Tuscaloosa. So State looking to, and the first pitch of this home run derby is a home run. So we got that going on right now. But State looking to win the series over Alabama. They have just starting the top half of the 8th, and they have Sawyer Reeves, Ace Reese, and Noah Sullivan due up. So the heart of the order for the Bulldogs maybe can add some insurance runs as we move just a little bit further into the ball game. But Mississippi State 3, Alabama 2. Hopefully the Bulldogs can win that series and win 2 straight SEC series here in this middle part of SEC play before hosting the Florida Gators next week at Dudy Noble Field. But for Mississippi State softball, as I mentioned, they'll be on the road next week in Norman, Oklahoma to face the storied Oklahoma Sooners program, and then we'll be on the road to face Kentucky after that, and then we'll play Ole Miss here at News Park to close out the season. So that should be a good series. Both of those teams from the state of Mississippi ranked and have been good this year. State ranked ahead of Ole Miss, but both teams have been pretty good this year, and so looking forward to that series. But definitely need to try and take care of business on the road at Oklahoma and then on the road at Kentucky before we worry about that. But that is the post-game show. I want to remind you before it go off air here from News Park, be sure to follow us on Instagram. Bulldog Student Sports Network is our tag there. Follow us on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, at BSSN_MSU. There's no capital letters in that. Or there might be, I'm not sure, but it'll pull up either way, BSSN_MSU. We sometimes send out live tweets for ball games, and we also, try and tweet whenever we are going to go live, and also we just tweet about Mississippi State athletics in general. So be sure to follow us on Twitter or X, and subscribe to us here on YouTube, Bulldog Student Sports Network. We would very much appreciate it. Like the stream if you would like, and definitely hit that notification bell. I always say it's like ringing a cowbell. If you're a Mississippi State fan, you'll get instant notifications when we go live, whatever Mississippi State athletic event that we are broadcasting. But it's been a pleasure to broadcast this ball game to you today, and it's great that Mississippi State has won today and won the series. But a pleasure broadcasting with you today. And I know Zach Sizemore would say the same. So for Zach Sizemore, I am Ty Goldman. Y'all take care. Mississippi State wins 10-2 over Missouri, and they win the series over the Tigers from Columbia. Y'all take care. Have a great rest of your Sunday afternoon, and you can wrap this one in maroon and white. Have a fantastic afternoon, and Hail State.